93DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. The first hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by Action247.com. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a piece of land out in the countryside. Lay back and smell the sun. Warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to me. Taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some
Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday to you. Welcome into Sports 56 Middays on this final day of the work week, getting you set for the sports weekend and the opening of college football. Not a heavy slate, but at least there will be some games this weekend, and then we got football every weekend all the way through the Super Bowl. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn, and a cast of thousands here in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. It's the Friday, August 27th, 2021 edition of the program. First hour of the show brought to you each and every day by Action 24/7. On the program today, we will talk plenty of college football. The Big 12 starting to stir a little bit. We will discuss that. The Pac-12 announcing yesterday that they will not, at least for the time being, expand. We'll talk some NFL. It is the final week of the preseason, at least as far as games are concerned. Then there's a whole other week after this weekend. And then finally, 2 weeks from now, the season will start on the Thursday night. But the NFL is right around the corner. Laird Veach, the University of Memphis Vice President and Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, will join us to talk about this new vision for University of Memphis Athletics. It's called Memphis Rising, hashtag Memphis Rising, and it is a really comprehensive unveilment yesterday of the vision that the school has for the athletics moving forward into this decade, a strategic plan, facilities master plan. The renderings are tremendous. We will talk to Laird in about 20 minutes about that. John Varlas at 11:05 in his usual time slot to preview the prep football action for tonight. Recap what happened last night as well. We will talk Memphis Tigers basketball with Stephen Johnson from the Daily Memphian at 12:05. Of course, John from the Daily Memphian as well. The Tigers, if you haven't heard, have been in the news a little bit the last few weeks. And then at 12:30, we'll play 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. We'll wrap it up just before 1 o'clock, hand things over to John Harden for his show coming up from 1 to 3, Sports 56 Happy Hour. Eli, how are you on this Friday?
I am splendid.
We have a possible hurricane that's brewing in the Gulf that could hit New Orleans and could eventually, the remnants, hit us. At least that's the forecast right now. So could be a very wet early portion of next week.
Yeah, that's not good news. With storms coming in and especially bearing down on New Orleans. I believe, as a matter of fact, the Saints Cardinals are playing. Is it tomorrow that they play? And they've moved the game up to like a morning game, or like it may be, it's either 11 or noon. I think they're starting that game to get it done before the storm comes in.
Yeah, so be careful. Keep listening to the forecast as far as that's concerned, because flooding is a strong possibility. Let me open up with this. Our friend of the show, Rachel Heck, is playing and representing the United States in the Curtis Cup. That's going on right now. The first round is done, or first day of action, I should say. It's going on in Wales, so they're way ahead of us. It was not a good day for the United States. They trailed the Europeans 2.5 to 0.5, but Rachel Heck and her partner were the ones who produced that half point as they halved with the team from Great Britain and Ireland. So Rachel Heck, at least individually, off to a good start, but the team itself not off to a good start. What a great representative, though, for our city, for the United States, and, of course, Stanford University, the NCAA women's singles champion, Rachel Heck, in the Conway or the Curtis Cup in Conway, Wales. All right, so there's a lot of college football news yesterday, and some of it flew a little bit under the radar. The news that was very pertinent but expected was the Pac-12 announcement that they will not, at least now, look at expansion. The consensus is that they knew if they went after other schools, especially the remnants of the Big 12, that the Big 12 would implode. So they decided not to do that. Now, Heather Dinich from ESPN said it's a big boost to the Big 12 chances of remaining viable and a viable league if they can lure in American Conference teams. If the American Conference teams get the Big 12 teams, then they can make a push for autonomy, and all hell can break loose. Right now, the thought is with the alliance of the Pac-12, Big 10, and the ACC, and calmness, at least right now, as far as expansion is concerned, that all things are going to be relatively quiet. But I don't think that's the case because the Big 12 cannot survive with just the 8 teams they have. They can't and be considered a power conference. And even though there's not a lot out there that can add value, at least I think there's some things they can do. And one of those things is to try to lure BYU, especially with Pac-12 announcing that they're not going to expand right now. So that kind of takes that whole scenario I brought up earlier in the week about BYU and Boise State. It takes it out of the mix. So BYU, according to a story out there, is being lured, being courted by the Big 12.
Yeah, The Athletic has a big story, Max Olson and Andy Staples, about the Big 12. They do have a 4-person group
subcommittee
they have put together that is kind of in charge of looking at expansion. They are supposed to be meeting this morning. I'm not sure if that's going on now or exactly when, but they're going to be meeting this morning with the presidents and chancellors of the Big 12. The ADs are all supposed to get together next week. Kirby Hocutt is kind of it seems like the guy kind of running the show. He's one of them. Mac Rhodes, the Baylor AD. And then you got the chancellor from Kansas and the president from Iowa State. And then they've brought in Oliver Luck as a consultant in this whole thing. And yeah, they are looking at BYU as seems like the number one target. There's a lot of stuff out there about other teams. See a lot of stuff about UCF mentioned. See a lot of stuff about Cincinnati mentioned. There seems to be Houston is an interesting thing because there is this one thing out there that apparently the Big 12 was soured on Houston because of Tillman Fertitta in that last go-around in 2016 when they were looking at possibly expanding and ended up not doing it. And Houston wasn't as high up on the list as Fertitta would have liked. And he has taken some shots and has continued to take some shots through the years at the Big 12. So there are some people that there was a thing that says the Big 12 could still be sour on Houston and not want them.
Well, first of all, get over it. Get over it if you think Houston adds value. And I can tell you what Houston adds is over 3 million people. Not saying that they're all watching Houston football, but get over that if it's a personal grudge.
Well, they might be telling Fertitta to get over it. So, and he hasn't for some reason. But the big thing it's weird because the main comment he made was about Texas back at that time, about Texas with all their money not wanting Houston in the Big 12. Well, the Texas isn't going to be there, so really I don't know. So I don't know that, but the part that's a little alarming, and again these are just reports, but these people talk to people in the know. Memphis is not mentioned.
Right.
Memphis is not brought up. It is Houston, it's UCF, it's Cincinnati, and it's BYU. And
also
Boise
mentioned UNLV.
I have not UNLV. Yes, I did not see any of the stuff I read.
They mentioned UNLV because of Las Vegas and the growing population in Las Vegas, which goes back to the conversation we had yesterday with Harold Grader during the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour about whether it's still market. Do they still worry about the market? Because we know now that it's not just television viewing. It's viewing online, it's live streaming, it's all kinds of things that go into watching games. But to me, when they threw around those names, they are looking again at market size. But Memphis, as Gabe and I were talking, right, Gabe, before the show, it's not like this is some hunky-dunk little country town. This is a big city as well with a heavy population.
And if you're talking about recency bias and you're talking about success in the two main money makers in football and basketball, I don't know why you wouldn't look directly toward Memphis.
Well, certainly Memphis has positioned itself much better than they've ever been when these talks have been going on,
right?
Because of the football program.
And Laird will tell us that in about 10 minutes.
And I think this unveiling of the Memphis Rising, no coincidence that they're now putting this out there of all the things they want to do and all this stuff. But it is. This is the worst possible thing. And we've talked about this before. And Memphis just can't let it happen. I don't know what you can do, but you can't let the American get picked apart and be left in a picked apart American. If they were to take Houston, Cincinnati, and UCF, and then you're just left with the leftovers of the American, that to me is the disaster for Memphis.
There is a perception for some reason that is not good about Memphis that's out there, that's prevalent outside of us. We know who we are. We know that we bring a lot to the table as a city, as a community, as a university. And it just continues to be out there hovering, this bad perception, whatever it is, of this city. And you're right. There's probably no coincidence that hashtag Memphis Rising is out there now about the stories that came out earlier this year about the renovations of Liberty Bowl Stadium, things of that nature. We will have Laird on to talk about this. But you're right. When you see that the Big 12 is now starting to put things in motion to talk to other schools or at least to reach out to them, and you don't see Memphis's name right there on the list. Mike Oresco hopefully will be on with us next week, and it'll be limited on what he can say. But I would imagine right now, with the Big 12 starting to press down on the accelerator, that Oresco has to do so as well, because that's what it's going to be, which we thought all along it would be. That it might not necessarily be the Big Ten or the ACC or the Pac-12 adding teams. It would be the Big 12 battling the American Conference. That's what it would be. A lot of people said it would be that way, and it looks like apparently it will be that way, with BYU also the caveat of being able to land a big fish, if you will, for either the American or the Big 12 if they're able to get them from independence to being a part of a conference.
Well, the thing, the Big 12 when it comes to a battle of Big 12 joining American or American joining Big 12, it's a no-brainer. The American teams would all join the Big 12 in a heartbeat because the Big 12 already has the autonomy.
Right.
It already has the bowl contract.
Already established.
It is a Power 5 conference until it's not.
Right.
You can talk about what it's going to be but right now it has all of the Power 5 stuff that you want. It has the automatic spots. It has the autonomy. So any of these American teams, given that opportunity, are going to bolt to the Big 12 as soon as they possibly can.
And geography has nothing to do with anything. It's out the window. It's all about what can you bring in. And obviously, with Texas and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12, you're losing 50%. You're losing half the revenue. The television contracts, it's worth now half. It's like taking the car off the lot at the car dealership. It depreciates pretty quickly, and it's depreciating a lot by losing those two powers. But you try to add, because you're not going to survive with just the 8 you have. But if you can bring in some of those bigger markets, if you can get BYU, and yes, BYU is attractive. It's not Texas or Oklahoma, but it's attractive. So this is a scary spot. Once again, it's a scary spot for Memphis, because while nothing else is going to be going on for a while with the other conferences that we talked about, the power conferences, the Big 12, which was left out of the alliance, they were left to fend for themselves. That's exactly what they're doing right now. So this is tough. This is tough. Also, go ahead, Eli. You were going to say something.
Well, I was going to mention, by the way, because you brought up the alliance, which I just love the Alliance. Congratulations on the Alliance.
They sound like superheroes.
Clearly doing exactly what it was intended to do, as we had the big announcement of the season opening game of 2024 of USC battling LSU. Okay. I see the Alliance is working perfectly. Man, this stuff, you guys are off to a rip-roaring start here. You guys have gone out and you scheduled a big game against that's the SEC. No, that's right. I thought you guys were against them, but no, that's okay. Okay. It's going to start now. Now we're starting this whole anti-SEC
starting
thing.
Now, when I saw that tweet, I saw Barrett Sallee, who's a Monday guest of ours. He was the first one I saw tweeted out. I just started laughing.
I'm like, you literally, days after this whole we're united together, scheduling each other, all this stuff. As soon as we possibly can, we're gonna start scheduling. But USC is gonna play LSU. It's just
right, and it probably won't be the last one we hear about.
Because if they get an opportunity to play an SEC team, they want that opportunity.
Yes, because if you can beat an SEC team, it goes a long way.
These neutral field games. The conferences don't get to pick those opponents. Like, that's going to be ESPN, and that's going to be the people
Fox,
who host the game. Mm-hmm. So they're going to, if I'm in Vegas or whatever, as this one is, or wherever it is, and I want to put together a game, the SEC teams are the most attractive teams for those games.
Right. One other quick thing, because Laird's going to join us here after the timeout. The Gordon Gee, who's the athletics director at... Or is he the president?
He's
right?
the president.
Yeah, West Virginia. He's the guy with the bow tie. Anyway, he came out yesterday and said, I guess he was asked about the college football playoff, and he said it's on life support. And the Big 12, I would say right now, is on life support. But I still don't understand how an expanded playoff doesn't benefit everybody. I mean everybody. From power conferences to the group of five, to television contracts with the networks. Network contracts with the schools, to the conferences themselves with the money they rake in, to the fans, to the vendors, to the sponsors. I don't understand how it doesn't help every single person. This seems like a spite thing from the Alliance. Now, West Virginia is not in the Alliance, so I was a little surprised to hear that.
I think this is a president that's mad that his conference has got picked apart, and now they have a lot of questions as to what their future is. I still think that it will, whenever they get around to actually voting on it, it will pass. I mean, the Alliance people said they're like in support of it. They just want to have more conversation about it. Like, that's all.
They want to be included.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they didn't say like we're against it. They said we just want to have more discussions, but in the end, money's always going to win out, and it's going to mean more money. So it will pass, and who knows when it will go into effect. It probably will not go into effect till 2025, because that means even more money, because then you could take it to the open market as far as TV goes, rather than just renegotiate with ESPN alone. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of reason to wait till 2025, but it will. Right. I fully believe it'll pass.
All right, when we come back, the University of Memphis Vice President and Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Laird Beach, will join us. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports Time with Wallo and Stats. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, it is so cool to see all these new All-Star Edition Silverado trucks at All-Star Chevrolet today. And they have so many certified pre-owned Chevys. If it's a Chevy you want this fall, Olive Branch is where you want to be. And if you have a car or truck to sell, All-Star will buy it even if you owe on it. So bring the title and get your check today. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Collierville, not Mount Moriah or the Pike. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
RS Financial Group and Orion Federal Credit Union present the 2021 World Championship Hot Wing Contest, August 28th at Tiger Lane, featuring the South Hall Cafe's World Wing Series. Earn a spot to compete for $25,000. Go to to worldwingfest.com. August 28th, mark the date for the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival at Tiger Lane. Live bands, $10,000 in cash prizes, presented by Orion Federal Credit Union, RS Financial Group, benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities of Memphis. Go to worldwingfest.com.
The bridge is open. Now it's really easy to take the 15-minute drive to Cypress View Golf and Recreation and enjoy the spectacular upgrades made to the clubhouse and golf course. The fairways are looking great and the greens are better than ever. No traffic, no excuses. If you're tired of paying greens and cart fees, Cypress View has a membership that includes unlimited golf, cart, range balls, and more. A family membership is just $199 per month plus tax. Members also have access to the Olympic-sized pool, fitness center, and tennis courts. The golf shop is stocked with FootJoy apparel, Titleist bags, and equipment. A huge selection of Puka headwear and more. Cypress View Grill has a wide selection of choices from burgers to brats, Phillies to quesadillas, flatbreads to oven-fired pizzas. You're covered from golf to goods to grub. And now Cypress View has a beer license, so grab a cold one in the grill. See why Cypress View Golf and Recreation is one of the fastest growing clubs in the Mid-South. Call 870-739-6305 or visit online cypressviewgolf.com.
Visit Frontier Western Store this summer to check out tons of new products. Frontier added so many new items in their women's boutique. There are daily arrivals with thousands of on-trend tops, jeans, and pants in stock at amazing prices. And guys, Frontier's your #1 Carhartt store. There's no one around with a larger selection of everyday fits and workwear. Wrangler and Ariat clothing also available. Frontier recently remodeled their entire store and expanded the world-famous boot showroom. Now there are even more dress and work boots in stock. After Ariat boots, then you've got to check out Frontier. There are over 1,000 pair of Ariat boots alone, and thousands more in other brands such as Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, and Twisted X. As if the selection isn't reason enough, there's Frontier's low prices. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so when you're ready for your next pair, you know right where to come. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
I'm Dr. George Flynn, Chairman of the Board of Flynn Broadcasting. Other stations might consider you to be a listener. I don't, and we don't. You are a family member, and I want the best for you and your family. So please get vaccinated against COVID. It saves hospitalizations and can save your life. I've had 3 rounds of vaccines on clinical trials with no side effects other than maybe a sore arm for 24 hours. I want to protect you, my family, and would never suggest something that might harm you. Please get vaccinated and feel safe in knowing you've done your part to beat COVID-19. I care about you, so please get vaccinated. All of us at Flynn Broadcasting want to keep you healthy, so please get vaccinated.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays. 10:27 is the time on this Friday, August 27th, 2021. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn with you. And now we're very pleased to be joined by the University of Memphis Vice President and Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Laird Veach. You can follow Laird on Twitter at Laird Veach. He joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Hey, Laird, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing fantastic. I'll tell you what, I am extremely impressed with what you guys have been able to do to put together this vision, Memphis Rising, while everything and anything was going on over the summer, from name, image, likeness to obviously dealing with COVID still and everything in between, that you guys have put together this comprehensive plan about the future, especially this next decade, the decade we're in, about Memphis athletics. So kudos to you and your staff for having the vision and having the know-how to put this thing together.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Kind of you. I am proud of our staff. We've been working on it for quite a while, so it's been something that's been going on for several months now, but kind of behind the scenes. We were able to use some of the pandemic time to have several Zoom calls and other things, kind of conversations throughout the process. So it allowed us to really try to plan ahead, which is exciting for the future.
Can you kind of go over some of the main highlights, the main points of this for the folks out there who have not seen what it is we're referring to in the what you want to do at the Park Avenue campus?
Yeah, so the vision overall is sort of broken down into sort of two elements. One is kind of a traditional strategic plan. So kind of the boring philosophical stuff to a lot of folks out there that has a mission and a vision statement and several goals and strategies and all those things. It is really detailed, but in the end, we wanted to a real clear vision that we want to be a rising athletics department that supports and graduates our student athletes and, delivers championship level experiences and that resulting in national prominence. That's our vision statement. And then we went through and identified some clear elements of our culture that we really want to push forward that we feel like sort of just defines us. And there are real clear goals and strategies for everyone in the department to tackle in the years ahead. And then, the thing that people get more excited about is the pretty pictures and the master plan for our facilities. And that was the other sort of half of this process that we've gone through over the last several months, is really trying to sort of lay out and be able to show and articulate what we want to accomplish from a facility standpoint. And most of that is focused on the Park Avenue campus. So the southern half of that campus is, as most of our fans know, is really pretty much all athletic related facilities. And so we really wanted to lay out, when you look at that space, understanding there are some things we want to continue to do to other areas like the bench and El Marone, et cetera. But with that Park Avenue campus, we feel like we have an opportunity to, because of what's happened already with the indoor, with the Lori Walton complex, with other things that have happened in terms of investments. Now we can really elevate that for a true kind of student-athlete village, right? Someplace where student-athletes can live, train, study, eat, do everything that they do all in one location, which if you kind of look across the country competitively, that's what places are trying to get to, right? That's sort of now become the goal. It kind of started with the Olympic Village, and then people saw that type of experience, and now we have an opportunity because of what's been done and because of just our geographical footprint and the space we have down there to elevate it to that kind of level.
I have seen that at other schools. I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's interesting for somebody who's been around here as long as I have. Over at the Park Avenue campus, you have seen over the years just some things knocked down, some things built. As you mentioned, you see the Lori Walton basketball facility, probably second to none in the country. That's there. But then you look at other areas over there and you go, well, are they going to fix that? Is that going to – then you have the indoor facility for football built. So it seems like it's been spaced out, but projects have happened. Now this is an overall vision of what we can expect to see when it's all completed. And I think the most important thing is, and you just touched on it, is the student-athlete housing that'll be connected to where they are practicing basically every day. So can you give us a little bit more insight on the housing portion of that at Park Avenue?
Yeah, so that was actually something as an institution from a university standpoint we had released and talked about a while back, and we are getting really close. I think within the coming months, even before the end of this calendar year, to have an RFP out to partner with a third party that will come in and build a large number of student housing beds there right on that campus. So, folks that have been by there have seen the old Army barracks. That's what I call them. I'm not sure that's the right term. But,
right.
The idea is to take those down and put up a really nice housing complex for students. And half of that, almost 49% of it, can be student athletes per NCAA rules. So we can commit, instead of paying for our student athletes to be housed in other areas, whether that's other on-campus areas or off-campus areas, we can put those scholarship dollars to that experience for them right there on that campus. So it's good for a partner and it's good for us. And then with that, right across the street, literally right where our kind of throwing area is now for our track student athletes, we want to build what we're going to call a student athlete success center. So that'll be our major project priority here in the immediate future. We'll be focusing on raising dollars to help build that facility because it'll really complement the housing complex. And so what that means is it'll house things like, dining, nutrition, academic support, all the other student-athlete welfare components like mental health services, et cetera. We'll have everything right there for our student-athletes so they can, be one place to live, then spend the night. They can go across the street and eat or, study, whatever they need to do, and then they can walk another 100 yards and go train and work out and do what they need to do there. So it's just a really convenient, efficient, and, really safe, holistic environment for student-athletes every day.
When you're talking about the housing there, how many people are we talking, how many rooms are you talking that you would be able to house over there?
So I think the initial estimates that we've been talking about is up to 500 beds.
Okay.
So that's the number that's been thrown out to this point. Now that may be that may negotiate or go up and down slightly, but that should be in the ballpark of what we're looking for.
And then the other thing, of course, as you mentioned, is financing. How is this? How do you start raising the money, and do you have an idea of total money that's going to be needed to be able to complete all of this stuff?
Mm-hmm. So the housing piece, like I said, will be through a third party. Now they will be able to sort of count on a partnership with us and the commitment of up to 49% of those beds, and that'll be part of the draw project, right? The Student Athlete Success Center will need to be supported through philanthropic contributions. So, and what this does now is that by kind of laying out this vision, it allows us to really dial into what does it truly cost for us to do, minimally what we want to do, ideally what we want to do, and it also allows us to lay out that vision to potential contributors that really want to help us make this happen. So that's the next step in the process, and something we're really digging into now is trying to refine and define more the exact numbers, at least for this initial phase, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, the full phase is over several years, so you can get estimates based on today's dollars, but a project 8 years from now may be a lot different in cost than what it is right now. So we're going to focus on this first phase, that Student Athlete Success Center, and some components that we'd like to do with that, right? We're going to need to move our throws area to another location. We're going to, we really want to work on the entranceway into the Tiger Park area and how that looks. So there's some things like that we'll want to do with it. And here in the months ahead, once we get a little further along in defining those dollars and have a good perspective on what we think can realistically be raised, then we'll push that forward and share that as well.
If you have interest in supporting the project or want to find out more about it, more details, you can go online to gotigersgo.com/Memphis Rising. Okay, so Memphis is rising because it's been a just incredible last few weeks for Memphis basketball, and I know the football team is ready to crank things up a week from tomorrow. How good do you feel about this upcoming academic year, the 2021-2022 campaign and calendar, and what you see so far with what is happening in the fall?
I feel really good about it. I think back to, I started this job just right at under 2 years ago. And, as we were entering into that time frame, things were, pretty remarkable. We had the, number one recruiting class in men's basketball, which were amazingly couldn't get any better to repeat. And the football team that had the college game day, Cotton Bowl, just all those incredible things. And that's, sort of the trajectory we felt like we were all on. And then, of course, the pandemic hit and so many challenges with that. So it feels like we're kind of right back into that mode again. And, I feel great about what our programs are doing, genuinely. I mean, the quality of coaches we have and the leadership they're providing and the type of young people they're bringing in. And we're just, we're highly competitive, and there's a lot of great energy, and just excited to actually get back out there and enjoy games with fans and tailgates and all those fun things.
Amidst all of the things that are going on is the new realignment, I guess, as the Texas-Oklahoma thing that is triggered, and now there's a lot of reports out there about what the Big 12 is going to do next, all of this stuff. What can you do from where you are now in order to try and best position yourself if there is something out there that would be better suited for the University of Memphis? What are the things, how do you kind of approach these things as it kind of continues to unfold? It's
a good question. And, of course, a question I get quite a bit. And, the the answer of that, even though the whole conference realignment landscape is constantly shifting and talk and, speculation here and there, the answer really to that question pretty much always stays the same, and that's control what you can control. And, that's the first part. The first part is that. And, all the things that we can control we're doing really well right now. We are incredibly well positioned. We have, great academics, great university leadership, obviously a really a healthy, robust city that is very supportive of our program, and this place is so central to the city. You have great coaches. We're highly competitive. Our brand is strong. There's just all the things that you want to have in place when you're sort of positioning yourself for whatever that looks like is there. And, now I'd like to think we're laying out a really good vision for where we can head. So we're doing all those things, right? The only other thing you can really do is try to, stay networked, stay aware, and then just, make sure you have a seat at the table when those opportunities present themselves. And, we will. We're ready, and we're having conversations just like everybody else is having. But we're also in a good spot. We really are. We like the American. We've been extremely competitive in the American Conference and feel good about that as well. So, no matter what happens, Memphis is in a good spot. We just got to, continue to focus on what we can, and then, be ready for, when things potentially shift in whatever way they do.
Most people feel that you are in the best position that you've ever been, and that the city is in a great position as well. Things are booming downtown. There's construction happening here in the city. Like I said, I've been here a long time, and it boggles my mind sometimes the perception from outside of our community that people have about Memphis. And I think sometimes that's what happens when you don't see Memphis on a list of teams or schools that they may go after a certain conference, a particular conference. And it bothers us, I know, as Memphians. But I think you guys are just crushing it. I mean, you're doing everything you can to put yourselves into the position that you need to be. One other thing before we let you go, and this also is part of that. There has been the conversation, and now I think reality, that there will be more renovations to Liberty Bowl Stadium, of course, the home of Tigers football. Can you expound on that a little bit more, and when are we talking about as far as that is concerned?
Yeah, so what we're really doing, and by the announcement here a while back, is we're just making folks aware that we're entering into a very similar process of what you just saw the result of with our plans with all of our other facilities. So we went through a master planning process over the last several months to identify what do we want this to look like over the next several years, and how we can kind of phase that in over time on a priority kind of prioritized kind of way. So we're going to do the same thing. We're working with the city right now. We've had some initial meetings and conversations about what that could look like, and so in the months ahead, we'll be able to then share with everyone, where we want this to head from a Liberty Bowl standpoint. So, that was something we had started conversations about with the city before the pandemic hit, and like so many things, we sort of had to push to the side as we managed through that crisis. And we're resurfacing those conversations now. And so exactly what that'll look like, or the timing of it, will really depend on this process that we go through. But we're committed to it. And, one of the things that I feel really good about is our ability to come together and accomplish those things. You look at Leftwich as a great example of a city-university partnership. And, I get the question all the time about what's it like to not own your own facility and how that works. And, for us, I think it's a great fit because, we have another major entity that has, a real seat at the table and a real interest. And so we can come together and partner in a way that a lot of universities can't. So I'm excited about that. I think it'll present us the chance to take that to another level as well. And I think there's a tremendous opportunity with what's happening at Liberty Park. And, as I've described many times, the Liberty Bowl itself has great bones. A really good structure. There's not a bad seat in the house. We just need to really elevate the experience overall and provide the look and experience that people are used to for programs of our level.
Absolutely. Look, it's a good time for everybody, and the fact that crowds are back and the games are going to starting this weekend, of course, for the Tigers a week from Saturday. And obviously, tickets are available, but we had Jeff Crane on Tuesday, as you probably know, and Jeff said that you guys are doing pretty well. You're a little bit ahead of where you want to be, but you're certainly a lot of tickets still that are available for the folks out there to get out there. Tailgating's back. So everything hopefully will be back and more comfortable than ever for folks, because you've added a lot of things as well to the stadium for the enhancement of viewing a game, and to make it more of an experience for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing I'm excited about. Our staff has done a tremendous job, particularly Blair DeVore, who runs our Tiger Scholarship Fund now, and our fundraising efforts has brought a lot of creativity to that scene. And last year during the midst of the pandemic, as sort of a necessary adjustment, we created that outdoor club on the west side. And, that ended up being a huge hit. So we're continuing to do that, and then add some other outdoor patio kind of places and experiences. And, one of the things that I think that does not only provide some really, neat experiences right now, but it also gives people a sort of a glimpse into what we can do on a permanent scale down the road as we develop those plans we just talked about.
Once again, the unveiling of hashtag Memphis Rising. If you want more information, you want to see how you can support the project, all you have to do is visit them online at gotigersgo.com/Memphis Rising. Laird, great stuff. Really appreciate it. I'll see you out at the football games, and thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Thanks, guys. Go Tigers.
Take care.
Well, he's got a lot of connections in the Big 12. Hope some of those people owe him a favor.
It's amazing when you brought up that topic. That's the first thing I thought of was, Laird's definitely connected to the Big 12. I don't know if he has any relationship with Bowlesby, but it's sad that we have to think about that that's where it's going, because like you said, and everybody knows, the Big 12 has autonomy. They are a Power 5 conference right now, although certainly not in the same sense of having Texas and Oklahoma, but right now they are still that, and the American Conference, unfortunately, is not. So the best move, if you have that opportunity, is to be a part of the Big 12, because that's what the Big 12 is doing right now. They have hand. The American Conference does not, unfortunately, as much as Mike wants to be in that position. And again, we're hopefully going to have Mike on next week. But you're stuck between a rock and a hard place if you're not on that list. And I think Laird and his arrival, they have done so much to strengthen this athletic department. And the school, with the leadership of Dr. M. David Rudd, who, of course, is the outgoing president, have done wonders. The city has been on the rise. It's just to be able to get into the ball game, to be a part of that.
They need to it would help Memphis if maybe Tillman Fertitta would continue to run his mouth about the Big 12. But I have a feeling he's not going to say anything more bad about the Big 12 at this point.
Yeah, how deep would the Big 12 want to go? Are they looking to add 2? Are they looking to add 4? Are they looking to add 6? Where do they want to go? Again, you're losing 50% of your revenue basically with your television contracts right now by losing Texas and Oklahoma. You're not going to be able to get back that, but you should be able to add to it, obviously, with some more teams. But would it cut the slice a little bit thinner for those that are already part of the Big 12? These are things that will be talked about and debated here for quite some time before we come to some conclusion. We will take a quick time out. Before we do so, though, Action 24/7. We can't thank them enough for being a part of our show. First hour sponsor of Middays.
That's right. Action 24/7, the local sports book here in the state of Tennessee. And with football getting here and starting tomorrow on the college level with a few games, and then next week a full slate of games, NFL right after that, they are setting you up with free money, some free bullets for the season with your first deposit. All you got to do is use promo code WHBQ100. That's all capitals on the WHBQ. And they will match your first deposit 100% up to $400. So you can turn $400 into $800. Plus, they've got other great deals going on, specials for new users. If you bet $5 on any NFL preseason game, you'll win $150 if there's a touchdown. Bet $5 on any college football game, and you'll win $150 if either team scores a touchdown. New users get a chance to get plenty of free money right now from the local sportsbook in the state of Tennessee. They are Action 24/7.
NFL news when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
What do you hear? What do you say?
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hey, Mid-South, are you ready to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
We're ready, Randy, with the best ride you'll ever drive. 2021 Kia Forte LXS, we got it at $249 a month. 2022 Kia Soul GT, it's ready to ride at $305 a month.
And Jeff Allen, I hear you've got American-made 2022 Kia K5, now $379 a month. And every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
You heard the man, Jeff Allen. Don't miss the trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. All $29.99 due at signing, all 72 months at 2.9 APR sold in 715-1544 MSRP 24,200 K5 NG 103,647 MSRP 28,985 Forte LXS MSRP 20,590 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 must finance through Kia on low APR. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
The thing about the Name Your Price tool from Progressive is that by now you've heard a lot of ads about the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. We probably don't even need the words, the Name Your Price tool, to tell you that our Humpback Whale Pup gives you options based on your budget, or that our novelty hand buzzer helps you save on car insurance. And that's the thing about the tiny felt bag filled with marbles. At this point, you've heard a lot of ads about the elusive northern bobcat. The Name Your Price tool, the neighbor who baked you banana bread, only from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Taqueria Express has a new location at 6290 Winchester with family deals every day. Mouth-watering chicken tacos, only 99 cents. 3 tacos with rice, beans, and fresh guacamole, only $6. And incredible signature dishes with chicken or beef chimichangas and homemade tortillas stuffed with fresh beans, rice, and cheese on top. If you're hungry, try Taqueria Express's gigantic Macho Burrito. Homemade with fresh flour tortilla, and you choose beef, chicken, pork, or shrimp. Includes beans, rice, melted cheese, lettuce, tomato, and sour cream. Fajita fans, try Taqueria's delicious chicken or steak fajitas. Big enough for 2 people and only $10. If you're thirsty and want something unique, then try Taqueria drinks made from scratch, like melon and pineapple. Margaritas are buy one, get one free, and they got a little kick to them. For real Mexican food, Taqueria Express, 6290 Winchester. We'll see you guys there, and don't forget those strong margaritas. Buy one, get one free.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day, group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
In your man, I am dented.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Take me to the pilot for control. Take me to the pilot of your soul.
Titans now with 9 positive tests. COVID-19 tests come out positive for 9 players and coaches, including the head coach Mike Vrabel and starting quarterback Ryan Tannehill. The NFL announcing
or at least proposing increased testing amid the virus surge. But 9 different Titans players and coaches have tested positive. The Saints have named Jameis Winston as their starting quarterback. We kind of alluded to that earlier this week, that's the direction they're probably going to go. Sean Payton making it official. Winston will get the start.
He's just a better quarterback. This should have never really been taking that long, honestly. I mean, he's just better quarterback than Taysom Hill.
But Taysom Hill will play because they'll use Taysom Hill as a Swiss Army knife, which they used him when Drew Brees was the starting quarterback. Sony Michel said he was surprised by the trade to the Rams, but the former Georgia Bulldog is going to be playing in the Los Angeles Rams organization, and he will be splitting time, it looks like, with Darrell Henderson. Probably a 1-2 punch as Cam Akers looks like he's lost for the season. And Bill Belichick, the New England Patriots head coach, said Cam Newton did not violate team rules. He did not violate team rules. So really it comes down to whether or not his absence has propelled Mac Jones to get reps with the first team. Did he earn the starting job because he's now had that time, or does he still end up starting Cam Newton? So that's still unfinished business in New England as far as the starting quarterback is concerned. J.R. Smith, Eli, the big golfer J.R. Smith, he tweeted out that his first tutoring session is in the books. I really like Mrs. Burke. Extremely helpful. It is surreal.
Yeah, he's like live tweeting his college experience, which is kind of cool.
It is really cool. Here's a guy who's an NBA champion, made a lot of money, didn't wear a shirt most of the time, and now he's back in school at North Carolina A&T to play golf, but going to classes. Just finished a paper the other day. Talked about it again, live tweeting as you just said, and now talking about his first tutoring session. And a shout out to Mrs. Burke.
Good for Mrs. Burke.
Mrs. Burke.
And also talked about his English homework. Did you see that? Finished my English homework. Dope short story about a little girl with 6 brothers seeking parents' approval. Dope reading.
I can't tell you how cool this is.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought for a second it was about my sister, but I didn't. Then I realized that she had 7 brothers, so not 6, so it couldn't be my sister.
Coming up in hour number 2 of the program, John Varlas will join us as we will talk prep football. Number of games yesterday that were played, but a lot of big ones on the docket tonight, including Germantown and MUS. Tough loss for Germantown last week at the Brothers, losing in overtime.
Yeah, there's a couple of good private versus public matchups tonight, and then you got a big matchup with Central and White Station. I'll be out at Christian Brothers. They get Sheffield tonight.
So is it a bye week for the Brothers? How good's Sheffield?
Listen, it's
a bye game.
It's a bye game.
Right.
Yes. Sheffield doesn't have nearly the numbers. They don't have. They did win last week, but But
at least they're playing, right?
Most of their team plays both ways, and on another 95-degree day, when your whole team's trying to play both ways, pretty much because you just don't have the numbers. It's a difficult ask. They're extremely young. Like their whole offensive line is sophomores and freshmen. Like this is a mismatch on paper.
I'm just happy for those young men that they're able to play football after the city schools weren't able to do so last year. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or check them out online at newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing, many different plans and options that you could choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket, whatever it takes to get that roof fixed, to get that new roof if needed. And remember, your insurance company can't tell you what company you have to use, whether it be for a roof or anything. That is your choice. Pinnacle is part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing. So business owners and property managers, homeowners as well. If you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work, satisfaction guaranteed. They do carpentry work, exterior painting. They can put up fencing and siding. They can install shingles, replace gutters, rotten wood repair. Whatever you can't do yourself, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Quality work at a very good price. It's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon today. Tell them I sent you. 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com. John Varlos is next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Sunrise Buick GMC is having their annual tent sale and the selection or savings are bigger than ever. A huge selection to choose from, big discounts from factory rebates high as $6,000. It's okay if you've got slow credit. Sunrise has over $500 million available for immediate financing with interest low as 0%, an $18 million used car inventory. And remember, Sunrise specializes in cars and trucks under $10,000. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Savings and fun for all ages. The 33rd annual tent sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Remember Elbow on Madison in Midtown with their great burgers? Now it's TJ Mulligan's, still with great burgers. 3 signature burgers on the menu. You love live music? Check out the big stage inside TJ Mulligan's new Midtown location. Go to their Facebook page for who's playing weekly. Relax on the covered patio and enjoy sipping on refreshing Tito's handmade vodka. If burgers aren't your thing, TJ Mulligan's has 1 neat 2 veggie plates for just $8.95 at all 4 locations. TJ Mulligan's, always with good friends and good food.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I'm Dr. George Flynn, Chairman of the Board of Flynn Broadcasting. Other stations might consider you to be a listener. I don't, and we don't. You are a family member, and I want the best for you and your family. So please get vaccinated against COVID. It saves hospitalizations and can save your life. I've had 3 rounds of vaccines on clinical trials with no side effects other than maybe a sore arm for 24 hours. I want to protect you, my family, and would never suggest something that might harm you. Please get vaccinated and feel safe in knowing you've done your part to beat COVID-19. I care about you, so please get vaccinated. All of us at Flynn Broadcasting want to keep you healthy, so please get vaccinated.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. This song will be apropos in just a few days. We are almost into September, but today it's August, Friday, August 27th, 2021. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 Middays. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Second hour of the program is brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. James will be rooting for Christian Brothers High School tonight in their game against Sheffield. He's a graduate of CBHS and a Memphian through and through. They are your bridal engagement and anniversary jeweler headquarters, been serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners in that same East Memphis location for a quarter century. It's right there between Mendenhall and St. Elmo, 4900 Poplar. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. You can call them at 901-767-9648. When you do, please tell me you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays. They are full-service jewelers with 2-bench jewelers ready to serve you daily. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition out there, so they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. It's James Gaddis Jewelers. Stop on by this weekend, 4900 Poplar, or on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. It's time for John Varlas.
It's time to talk some high school sports on Sports 56 Middays. Joining Greg and Eli is John Varlas from the Daily Memphian. Check out John's prep coverage at dailymemphian.com. Now, here's John with Greg and Eli.
There must be some kind of way out of here. Said a joker to the
He is John Varlas from the Daily Memphian, the outstanding prep reporter, award winner, but much, much more. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas, joining us in studio. Hello, JV.
Hello, Greg. How are you? Hey, Eli. How's it going?
Doing well, man. The season is underway.
Week 2 is already underway, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't hear anything horrible as far as COVID and the attendance with the fans and the players themselves. I know there were some issues where the first 2 weeks there had to be 2 games that were postponed, and one was actually moved around. But I didn't hear anything bad. Is that the case?
Nothing bad. I mean, I think, as we go through the season, there's going to be, like I said, I think I even wrote this at some point in the Daily Memphian, that there's going to be little bumps here and there. A game canceled here, a game canceled there. But, like they did last week with Collierville, maybe they can make it happen to where they can still play. But I certainly don't expect any problems. I think things are a lot different this year than they were last year, and I think everybody's kind of more on board with what they need to do to keep these kids on the field. And I think with you're available to get a vaccine now if you're over a certain age, and that certainly applies to high school football players. So I think there's a lot more positives this year, and I don't expect a ton of problems this year.
All right, go ahead, Eli.
Well, and John, you were out at Christian Brothers last Friday night with the game against Germantown. It was. I'm sure you felt the same way I did. It was just really cool to see a big old crowd for a high school football game again.
Oh, and I even said it, Eli. It was so amazing. It was like back in the old days where a high school football game was the top story in town, for a day at least. Nothing going on with the Tigers that day, nothing going on with the Grizzlies that day, no college football. And a high school football game was the biggest game in town, the biggest sports story in town, and it was amazing. So many people there. I mean, there were lots of local celebrities there that I heard from that were there enjoying themselves. A bunch of kids, parents. Germantown brought a ton of people. I mean, you saw them, Eli. They were hanging from the fences over there. It was amazing. It was a great scene, great game, great ending. Christian Brothers winning in overtime on a really, really cool play call there to get the winning touchdown. Just a great experience, and we need more of that. And I think that just shows how hungry people are for football. I would be surprised if there wasn't a really nice crowd for the Tigers, coming up on Saturday, because I think people are just really eager and excited to get out and see some football.
Yeah, not to belabor the point, but last year we even did a television game, Eli and myself, with Christian Brothers. it didn't feel right because a lot of schools weren't playing football. So I know it was important for those that were, but for those that didn't, you felt bad for them. It just didn't have the same vibe. It's got a different vibe now. Everybody is playing football, and we're all better for it. It's great to have all these kids, especially these city schools, to be able to play, and these kids to be out there showcasing their skills and trying to win games and win state championships. So let's get right into week 2. There were 4, 5, 6 games last night. One that stood out to you was Maz, and they're really, really good. Obviously, when you have Cam Miller, you're going to be pretty darn special, and they won over Oak Haven quite easily.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat this horse, and until I can beat it no longer. I mean, this is a really, really good football team. You mentioned Cam Miller, but it's this is a team that is probably greater than the sum of its parts. It's got some really good parts. Charles Perkins, we talked about last week, is an outstanding defensive end. One thing on the high school level that's huge is quarterback play. If you have a veteran quarterback, you're going to, you got a chance to be really good. And Moz has one, and a kid named Demetrius Visor, who had 3 touchdown passes last night. Jalen Shelton is a playmaker at wide receiver. Jalen Dale makes plays at wide receiver. And then last night, they had a freshman step up, a kid named Kumaro Brown, who honestly I had never heard of before the start of this season. But, here he scores 3 touchdowns. One is an 84-yard run, one is on a kickoff return. And, there's just no shortage of talent over there at Moz. They got a giant offensive line, particularly for a 2A school. They were ranked 5th in the state poll this week. And, Greg, they just kind of remind me a lot of that Tresvant team that won 2 state championships a few years ago when Telly White was over there. They don't have a workhorse running back, like Cordarian Richardson over there at Tresvant. But, they got a bunch of guys that can make plays. And when you got a guy like Cam Miller, in your arsenal, I mean, he can got the distance, potential to go the distance on any play. So, yeah, I really like this team, and I'm really excited to see what Coach Miller and his staff is going to, put on the field going forward. I really think they have a chance to do well.
Some good matchups tonight. I guess maybe the premier matchup would be White Station and Central, which should be a good game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that one. Central is, they've got so much speed over there. And quarterback play, again, like I just said, Law Wright, Major Wright's son playing quarterback, last week was his first start. He was remarkably efficient. He completed 12 of 16 passes. I don't think he was intercepted. He did throw a couple of touchdowns, and I know his dad liked to see that, and I know his coach liked to see that as well. And he's got lots of guys to work with. Quincy Briggs is one of our best athletes in Memphis and has been for a long time. The running back they have over there, Thornton, has tremendous potential. The secondary made big plays last week. They had 2 pick sixes against Cordova. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do this week against an always tough White Station team. White Station, they somehow managed to pull it out last week against Melrose. They only had 131 yards of offense. They were outgained over 2-1, and they still managed to pull it out somehow. They got a big kickoff return towards the end of the game to help them. Mario Robinson's a really good player for them, and of course Braylon Ragland. He was intercepted, I think 3 times last week, but he's a really good quarterback prospect. And if he can get it going, the sky's the limit for White Station. Like White Station, Central, all these SCS teams, they're really still kind of figuring things out. I mean, here in week 2, it's going to be interesting to see how they can progress from week 1 to week 2. That's where, sports cliche 101, that's where the most improvement is from week 1 to week 2. So let's see how it goes for White Station.
I was happy to see a competitive Melrose team. We talked about them last week, and if there's a chance Melrose can get back one day to where they were, and you made the points about, all these charter schools and other schools that are just plucking those players from Orange Mound in that area, and they don't have the enrollment that they used to have. The other team that, and again, I don't do this for a living like you do as far as covering the preps, but I expect more from Cordova, especially with who they have as the coach, and it's a pretty big school as far as enrollment. They got taken behind the woodshed by Central.
Yeah.
Is it that Cordova is not good, or is Central that much better than Cordova? Because I expected somewhat of a close game.
Central's good, and dropping down to Class 5A is really going to help them. They were ranked 7th in the state poll this week, and And I think that's a representation of how the people statewide view Central and their chances this season. Cordova is just a little down. I mean, you're exactly right. Marcus Wimberly is one of our very best coaches. I mean, won a state championship at East back in 2016. Ton of football experience, played professionally, played at the University of Miami. He's been at this a long time. So, that program is not going to be down for too long. Like you say, Greg, they've got, tremendous,
enrollment
pool of athletes to draw from over there, a big enrollment. Yeah, and they'll be fine. But, yeah, they're just in a down cycle right now.
Couple of private versus public matchups. That Germantown team that we saw last week in the overtime loss to Christian Brothers, they get MUS this week.
Yeah, and, a good private and a good public matchup, Eli, you just can't beat that. And I think we saw that last week, and I think we'll see this again Friday at Germantown. Really, really interesting with Germantown. I think they might have found a quarterback last week.
Yeah.
They started with Isaiah Tate. They, really didn't move the ball well, but then they inserted Malik Young at quarterback. And anybody that was at that game saw what a difference maker Malik was. I mean, he ripped off a big run to set up a good scoring opportunity. He had some nice passes. I mean, he was just a huge advantage and a huge difference maker for Germantown in that game. And, like we talked about last week, I mean, here's a kid that didn't play for 2 full seasons. He played as a freshman at Harding in 2018. He sat out 2019 transferring to Germantown. He sat out 2020, because, SCS wasn't playing. And now here he is in 2021, 2 years later. There's still, a lot of people simply just don't know about him and don't know how good he is. But, anybody that was at that game last week could see the obvious talent that this kid has. It's incredible talent. So, yeah, Malik is really good for Germantown, but, MUS played really well against Arlington, I thought. George Hamsley had a good game throwing the ball. Joakim Dotson, Mac Owen, good receivers. Once they get Clarkson Shelf back healthy, that's really going to bolster the receiver core. And, and MUS's defense, I thought, played really well against Arlington. They rotated a lot of guys in there, but they tackled well. They only gave up one big play at the very end of the game, mostly against reserves. So, yeah, I like the looks of this MUS team. And golly, what a schedule for Germantown to open the year. Week 1, Christian Brothers. Week 2, MUS. And then week 3, Whitehaven comes to town.
But I say hats off to them. I say hats off to them because last week I had asked you, Eli, and I kind of knew the answer to it, but having a year of not playing football, they're way behind the 8 ball. And here they are playing Christian Brothers. And it was as competitive as it could be going to overtime. So Gene Robinson and his staff and those players, I give them a lot of credit. Maybe it won't be close tonight. I don't know, but I say that's a moral victory where you accept the moral victory last week.
I mean, you're right. Gene is one of our best young coaches, one of the best young coaches, in Tennessee and maybe in the country. I mean, he's really, really sharp. And, Earl Harmon, the defensive coordinator that came with him over from Whitehaven, I mean, they did a tremendous job bottling up Dallin Hayden last week. I mean, I think that may be as good a job as I've seen anybody bottling up Dallin Hayden, to be honest with you. He wasn't a major factor in the game. He certainly didn't break any big plays. You kept sensing that he would, as good as he is, but he just never did. And outstanding defensive effort for Germantown. But yeah, I mean, what a schedule. I mean, then and then you look at later on they got to play Houston, Collierville, White Station. I mean, Germantown.
The hits just keep on coming.
I mean, they could be a very, very, very good football team and still have 4 or 5 losses going into the playoffs. It's just crazy the schedule they're playing.
Yeah, Malik Young looked really good when they brought him in at quarterback. He is very dangerous running the football. He is not easy to tackle. Another public versus private. You got Briarcrest and Houston tonight.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a interesting matchup over there too. Those 2 neighbor schools. Houston making the short trip over. Really impressed with Jeremiah Salem last week. Houston's new quarterback, the kid that moved in from Michigan because his dad is, I believe, the tight ends coach over at the U of M, Brad Salem. So Jeremiah moved in this year.
That's correct.
He, he only completed nine passes in 14 attempts, but he had, 240 yards. He had, several touchdowns. I mean, it looked really good. And Briarcrest, they played Booker T. Washington last week. It's kind of hard to get a good gauge on exactly where they are after that one because, that one was such a mismatch. I mean, that one was unfortunately over in the first quarter. So, it's going to be a good matchup. I really think, Houston is extremely well coached. Their offense is so creative. They're going to find ways to get the ball in their hands of their playmakers. The Stegall twins, Will and Ben, and like I said, Salem played really well last week. So I'm expecting a really, really good, fun game over there at Briarcrest. Could be a high-scoring game as well.
Last week we had a conversation about a pure youth and Tevin Carter going up against a Bartlett team that lost a lot from last year's squad. But you said, don't count them out yet, Bartlett. And Bartlett gets the win. They did a really good job on Carter because we had Tevin on the show, Eli, and he was talking about the numbers he was going to put up, and they stymied him defensively.
Well, and that speaks to another thing that I wrote in the Daily Memphian, or maybe I said it on Twitter. I say so much. It's
said it somewhere.
I'm always shooting my mouth off about something, but yeah, Bartlett. Lance Tucker over at Bartlett. I mean, he had tremendous success at Alabama before he came to Bartlett. And, I think it's fair to say that Alabama's probably a more competitive, state for high school football than Tennessee is. He and his staff just did a tremendous job against Carter last week. They intercepted 3 passes. Marco Tyson got 2 of them, and he brought 1 back for a touchdown. Devin Rutherford got the other one. And, if that name sounds familiar, Devin,
yes,
his dad, was the coach of the 2009 state champs over at White Station.
Right.
So, really great job by a young secondary. They held Tevin to 125 or so passing yards. And like you say, Greg, yeah, they did kind of stymie him a little bit. And with Bartlett, just losing so much, obviously the offense is still a work in progress at this point. And, but the defense, I think, has a chance to keep them competitive until the offense gets up to speed. Bartlett's going over to St. Benedict tonight, and, they've got a great chance to be 2-0 because, I think like we talked about before, Joey Magnifico's got a big building job over there at St. Benedict. So, yeah, I think Bartlett is in a good position to maybe go 2-0, and that would be tremendous considering, what they're bringing back from last season. Just a great job for Lance Tucker and his staff over there.
A couple of texts here on our AutoZone text line. Somebody says that Tresvent apparently is having COVID issues. They will not be able to play their game tonight against Olive Branch.
That was announced late last night, and I had that in the Daily Memphian today.
And they won their first game last week, correct?
Tresvent did win. They had a pretty impressive overtime victory in week 1, and yeah, unfortunately for and that that really stings for Olive Branch because that was gonna be their season opener, and I know they were planning on honoring the 2011 state champions tonight over there at Olive Branch. So really unfortunate. And, man, to think it's been 10 years since Olive Branch won a state title, too. Time really flies. But, yeah, that is true, and it's unfortunate for both teams.
Another text here says, wants you to talk about Munford and Millington.
Yeah, the M&M Bowl.
The M&M Bowl.
And he also wants you to talk about Tommy Clifton walking on at Memphis.
Well, I really like Tommy Clifton, and, little inside baseball here. I think you guys know that I'm training with Coach Shabazz over there,
right?
Trying to get in shape, and I've actually seen Tommy training over there. So, and man, that kid works. He really works hard. He is a great athlete, a hard worker. I mean, just a hard-nosed, competitive kid, and for him to get an opportunity to play at Memphis, I think that just speaks volumes to his work ethic, his determination, and
is he walking on as a quarterback
and his talent? I'm not sure. Do you know what position he's walking on, Eli?
I do not know for sure.
Because that's what he played at Millington, right?
He played at Millington.
Yeah.
He was a running quarterback, a great dual threat quarterback. But I could see him playing, any one of several positions over at Memphis. Honestly, he's just a football player. He's a good old-fashioned football player. So happy for Tommy, happy for the opportunity he's getting. He's a really good kid. And, the M&M Bowl tonight is going to provide an opportunity for Munford and Millington to get their first victories. They both lost last week. Millington lost in overtime to Kirby, and Munford was kind of steamrolled by, that really good Covington team. So, yeah, both teams are going to be eager to get back on track in that one. And huge rivalry, and that's the kind of game you're going to get up for. I think that's going to be a really good one.
Another texter on the AutoZone text line. Christian Brothers. Christian Brothers defense has several injuries to key players. The defense will get much stronger once those players are back. Yeah, the Christian Brothers was without a lot of guys last week, but they are getting at least one of the guys back defensively this week. Certainly, which will help them out. They had a lot of new guys out there last week, a lot of young guys that they normally wouldn't have had to play. Another one here asks you about what do you think about the basketball player at Rosemark that has decided to play football this year? Says, I think he had over 200 yards and 5 touchdowns in his first game.
Well, Texter, if you if you log on to the Daily Memphian right now, you will see a really cool story about Tyler Bird, the Tipton Road, and that's a cool story.
Nice plug. I won't even say shameless plug. Nice plug.
I'm ahead of it. I'm
John's always one. You can't throw something out here like, what do you like thinking John doesn't know about this? He's on this stuff.
No,
man, he's zigging when we're all zagging, baby.
I interviewed Tyler on Wednesday and his coach. I mean, and that's a tremendous story, honestly, because the texter is right. He was an all-state basketball player last year. He averaged around 19 points a game. He's got some good basketball interest. Schools like Radford and Denver and Jacksonville, people like that. Some mid-major interest. But throughout the summer, and I'm talking to people and just going around. People. Tyler Bird. He should play football. He's really good at football. He's got the body, and they finally convinced him to try out for the team, or he finally decided to try out for the team, and that's exactly true. In the first game last week, he caught 8 passes, 217 yards, 4 touchdowns, and then he brought back a punt for a 5th touchdown.
Is that good?
It's decent.
It's not a bad day.
But let me tell you, Greg.
It's good for fantasy football. If you had him in your fantasy lineup, you did well.
Yeah, and I'm sitting over here, across from Greg and his big guns over here. But I mean, here's a kid with a chiseled body. I mean, just all muscle. 6'2", about 200 pounds. Athletic, can run, can jump, can catch. I mean, yeah, it's going to be an interesting decision for Tyler if he continues to have this success, because it may turn out that he ends up getting some really good football offers off of this, and just from the sheer number standpoint of it, you have a better chance of getting a scholarship in football, in basketball, just because of the numbers.
Right, absolutely.
Got a friend of mine that text. I also got a text here on the text line that said that Tommy Clifton is working at running back.
Okay.
Right now.
Well, I think that's probably a good thing for him, and yeah, like I said, I'm just excited for Tommy. He's a good kid, and it's good for Memphis to have good local players on the roster as well.
Real quick, and we're out of time, but Whitehaven Ridgeway, I remember the days when that matchup was always going to be tight, even as good as Whitehaven is. Is Ridgeway, where are they at right now?
Ridgeway's a little down. They lost heavily to Houston last week. Their numbers are down. I think they're going to be fine once their region starts. But, it looks like this Whitehaven team is really, really good. This kid Mackey at defensive end is, starting to kind of blow up a little bit. They like we've talked about, they've got some really good guys. They're young. Their skill guys are young, but, Whitehaven is Whitehaven. They're always going to have a good defense. They're always going to have a gigantic line. And, if their skill guys can play and make plays, that's going to be a tough team to beat.
Games all over the place. Got games in Mississippi, got games in Arkansas, and, of course, a ton here in the Memphis area. John will have you covered on Twitter at John Varlas, and, of course, read all his great stories at the Daily Memphian. Catch him every Friday during the prep football season right here on Middays. JV, have a great Friday night.
Thank you. Do I know about Tyler Bird? Come on.
Don't insult my intelligence.
No, I'm just kidding. Thank you.
This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Zane comes your way every weekday morning from 7 till 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
RS Financial Group and Orion Federal Credit Union present the 2021 World Championship Hot Wing Contest, August 28th at Tiger Lane, featuring the South Hall Cafe's World Wing Series. Earn a spot to compete for $25,000. Go to worldwingfest.com. August 28th, mark the date for the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival at Tiger Lane. Live bands, $10,000 in cash prizes, presented by Orion Federal Credit Union, RS Financial Group, benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities of Memphis. Go to worldwingfest.com.
Mid-South, the time is now to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. You want to ride with 41 MPG Highway? We Gossett 2021 Kia Rio $249 a month. You want 0% at $282 a month? We Gossett with 2021 Kia Forte. And all-weather rugged 2022 Kia Seltos $332 a month. Plus peace of mind with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Trade up and get top dollar at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All $29.99 due at signing. Rio ME 418 570 60 at 0.9% APR. MSRP 17.2. Forte ME 393 458 60 at 0%. MSRP 19,940. Celtos N 724 9948 66 at 1.9%. MSRP 23,910. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Valid through 8/31/2021. Dealer stock only. Must finance through Kia on APR offer.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance for you.
When it comes to tires, auto repair, and car maintenance, Gateway has it all. Gateway Tire and Service Center is here to help you with all your service and tire needs. Choose from Yokohama, Toyo, Firestone, and Michelin. The list goes on and on. We have tires for all your needs and budgets. And when it comes to service, Gateway Tire has the most experienced mechanics and state-of-the-art equipment. Come see us for any repairs, alignment, struts, air conditioner, schedule maintenance, and more, including brakes with a free brake inspection. Then take advantage of the Gateway credit card. Apply today for stress-free financing made easy with no annual fee. Ask about our 6-month deferred interest with any purchase over $149. Go to gatewaytireandservice.com for great deals and coupons. Gateway Tire and Service Center has it all for you and your family.
At Gateway Tire, we go the distance for you.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back to the program. 11:31 the time, halfway home in this Friday edition of Sports 56 Middays. Greg, Eli, and Gabe getting you ready for the sports weekend. NFL preseason final games for all the teams this week, starting tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. And then 2 weekends from this weekend, the NFL season will begin. We will have some Memphis Tiger basketball news in just a moment. But first, we don't talk a lot about soccer, but I think this is big enough. This is a big enough story to pass along here on the show because there are a lot of soccer fans out there. Manchester United, one of the biggest sports entities, period, no matter what sport it is. I mean, that is a franchise that is valued at, I think, like $4 billion, whatever the case is. They are on the verge, according to reports, of reaching an agreement with Cristiano Ronaldo from Juventus,
who is one of the greatest soccer players to ever play the game. So Cristiano Ronaldo, according to reports, on the verge of becoming a member of Manchester United. Here's the Tigers news, and it's
I was hoping he was going to go play for Ted Lasso's team, but he did not.
Richmond.
I was really hoping they were going to be able to get him, but I had a feeling they would not be able to pull that off.
The Tigers news is nothing breaking, but the university has officially announced the signing of Amani Bates and the Tigers finalizing the nation's top recruiting class. That comes with the comments from the head coach. This is what Penny Hardaway says about Imani. We are thrilled Imani is a Tiger. He is one of the fiercest competitors I have ever recruited, and he instantly makes everyone around him better. His will to win makes us a better team. Bates was the 2020 Gatorade National Player of the Year. All he did was average 32.4 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, 2.2 steals as well. He had a 63-point, 21-rebound outing. We talked a lot about this yesterday. We took a lot of calls and a lot of texts. This team on paper is special. Can they produce like they should when they actually step on the court? That will be the question. You're talking about a team that now includes Landers Nolly, DeAndre Williams, Lester Quinones, John Camden, of course, Jalen Duran, and Imani Bates, Chandler Lawson, Jonathan Lawson, Josh Minot, Earl Timberlake, Sam Anu. Didn't even mention Alex Lomax, the return of Tyler Harris. Unreal.
It's weird because, and this isn't something altogether different in the city of Memphis, but here we are with college football ready to kick off, and it feels like everywhere you go, all people are talking about is Memphis basketball. Like the Bates addition just took it to another level. Like there was just a buzz yesterday around the city. Like that's all people were talking about was Memphis Tiger basketball and how good they can be now with that addition. It's crazy. It's just the idea of what Memphis basketball still means in this city, and when they get this type of recruiting class, this type of team, the excitement level is just off the charts.
Well, look, it's not crazy. You've been here long enough to know that before this run for Tigers football, I don't care if the Tigers landed a big recruit or not. Tiger basketball conversation stole the show even before the start of the football season. People were talking basketball and not football, and that hurt the football program. Great for the basketball program, but it hurt the football program. We are known as a basketball city. But what the Tigers football program has done in the last 7 years, thereabouts, putting them not only on the map, but being competitive every single year, to be in championship games in the conference, to be in the Cotton Bowl, to be at least extremely relevant in the whole scheme of things, put basketball and the struggles that basketball had at least on the back burner while kickoff was taking place. But when you have something as special as what we have just gone through, think about the summer. First you had the Tigers finishing up the spring by winning the NIT title, and then all of a sudden you see all these players gone off the roster. Well, Penny had a master plan. Penny weeded out what he needed to do, weed out the players that he didn't think would be instrumental in helping them get to the next level, and he had confidence in himself that he would be able to bring in these other players to add to what he kept. First of all, being able to keep the guys he did says an awful lot. Then you have a summer where he's able to add Larry Brown. He later adds Rasheed Wallace. And then from Timberlake to all the way now to Imani Bates, being able to put together the number one recruiting class for a second time. This is his 4th year at Memphis, and he's had 2 number one recruiting classes. Again, everything's perfect, except now they have to win and win big. And so I guarantee you, every national writer that covers college basketball is going to be focused on a story or two about Memphis right off the bat, about the high expectations and that they have to follow through now and all that stuff. And then if they stub their toe, they will be right there to criticize. So you have put a huge bullseye on yourself, but that's what you want. That's what Penny wants. I wear that shirt. Bring all the heat. I forget. I wore it yesterday to the gym.
All the smoke.
Sorry, all the smoke. I had it on yesterday. I can't even remember what it said. All the smoke. He wants that. He embraces that. He welcomes that. And so now those players are going to have to perform. And I think they will. This is going to be fun. But we have a football season. And a week from Saturday, the Tigers kick it off. And last year for Ryan Silverfield, 8-3, was pretty strong. But there are a lot of question marks.
We got a text here, the AutoZone text line. Says, let's just say they don't make the NCAA tournament this year. What would the repercussions be? Well, if they don't make the NCAA tournament, it probably wouldn't happen, but quite frankly, they should all be fired.
It would not happen, but then it would be he can't coach. He can't develop players, which we know is not true because he's already developed players. And Precious Achiuwa came in. He wasn't a top 5 recruit. He was highly regarded, obviously, but he turned him into a first-round NBA draft pick. Of course, Precious did a lot of the work himself.
Yeah,
but you still have to have the coaching. You have to go through the practices and the drills and everything. You have to be given that time. You have to run an offense and a defense that's advantageous for you to take advantage of to go to the next level. So I think he has shown that he's pretty good in developing players. He did it at the high school level. I think he's doing it at the collegiate level. But, yes, that would be an absolute doomsday outcome.
I'm pretty sure I could take over this team right now and make the NCAA tournament with it.
I said this yesterday when we were discussing it. They're going to be more than likely – they're going to be in the top 10 in the preseason. I don't think they'll be top 5. I said 7. There are a couple of national people have come out and they said 7 as well, and you asked me a week ago. But I just threw out 7 because I just didn't think they would be top 5 with Gonzaga and with some of the schools that bring back veteran players. And even though Memphis does have a few veteran players, their best players will be the young players. But I think it's I think Penny loves that. He loves being the hunted as opposed to the hunter. But they're going to be both because they have to prove themselves, so they're going to be the hunter. But yet everybody's going to look at that roster and go, we're going to have to really step up our game to beat those guys. So they're the hunted. They're both, which is weird, at the same time. They have to stalk teams because they haven't been to that level yet. Winning the NIT was nice, but nothing compared to what this team is expected to do. Yet you will be the hunted because you come in again with the number 1 recruiting class. We know what happened with that last number 1 recruiting class, with Wiseman playing 3 games. So knock on wood that everything goes smoothly, which is easier said than done with Memphis athletics. And if it does, and you stay out of trouble, you stay healthy, and you're on the court, the sky's the limit. The other thing, the other wild card, of course, is the IARP, which is still looming, which is scary to think about.
We have a trade in the NBA. Pretty notable trade. That we'll
pretty meaty trade.
Coming up in just a moment. Do want to tell you about Black Tie Moving, the experts in the world of moving. It could be a stressful time, could be difficult to try and do it yourself, so don't do that. Get the experts to help you with Black Tie Moving. 901-316-6196. Or you can go to the website blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. They'll sit down with you, come up with a plan that fits your needs, fits your budget, and then give you a no-obligation quote up front to let you know what it's going to cost to use the folks at Black Tie Moving. There's a reason they got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and 5-star ratings online. You see people talking about Black Tie Moving. They rave about the experience they have when they use Black Tie Moving for their move. So whether you're moving your home or office, whether it's just across town or across country, they are the ones to call. Give them a call. Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Grab a seat with Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Have you noticed your air conditioning system never breaks down at a good time? We know at Conway Services the timing's not always right to replace your air conditioning system. That's why we have financing options available. Right now, during the dog days of summer, get your new Carrier air conditioning system for as low as $99 per month. That's right, Conway Services has new Carrier air conditioning systems for as low as $99 per month. Now you could do that. Plus, your new air conditioning system comes with a 10-year parts warranty and a free Nest thermostat. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Remember Elbow on Madison in Midtown with their great burgers? Now it's TJ Mulligan's, still with great burgers. 3 signature burgers on the menu. You love live music? Check out the big stage inside TJ Mulligan's new Midtown location. Go to their Facebook page for who's playing weekly. Relax on the covered patio and enjoy sipping on refreshing Tito's handmade vodka. If burgers aren't your thing, TJ Mulligan's has 1 meat, 2 veggie plates for just $8.95 at all 4 locations. TJ Mulligan's, always with good friends and good food.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hey, we understand. With everything that's happening, with all the new regulations, maybe you're not ready to come and hang out at Sweetgrass to catch a ball game. We want you to, we really do. And we're open for you to do just that. But we're also offering the next best thing, the new Sweetgrass Tailgate Party Packs. Whether it's wings, house-made dips, sliders, or other Sweetgrass tasty treats, all you have to do is call us or go to sweetgrassmemphis.com to order just what you're dreaming of when you're dreaming of watching sports and enjoying some sweet, sweet Sweetgrass.
Hotty toddy Ole Miss.
Boom! That's a way to start it. Wide open down the seam. Caught. Touchdown. Caught at the 20 by Braylon Sanders. He trots into the end zone. Touchdown. We run the still. That Corral is on a roll. He's got it to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Lane Kiffin throws his clipboard.
The season starts September 6th on your home for the Rebels.
Catch Ole Miss Rebels football all season long right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Steven Johnson from the Daily Memphian will join us at 12:05 to talk Memphis Tigers basketball. Then at 12:30, we'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation.
Mention we have a trade in the NBA 3-team deal between the Bulls, the Cavaliers, and the Trailblazers. it will send Lauri Markkanen. It's a sign and trade for him, the restricted free agent. He goes to Cleveland. Larry Nance Jr. goes from Cleveland to Portland. And Derek Jones Jr., lots of juniors, a first-round pick and some additional draft picks will be going to Chicago. So Portland picks up Larry Nance Jr., Chicago gets Derek Jones Jr., Cleveland gets Lauri Markkanen.
So Chicago basically gets a first-rounder and Derek Jones Jr. and his expiring contract for Markkanen. I don't know why they gave up on Markkanen. I think he's really, really good.
He's been good. I'm not, with all the moves they made, I just don't know financially if they wanted to, because he got a 4-year, $67 million deal in this. I just don't know that they were going to, with all the stuff they've done, I don't know if they wanted to pay him like that. That Portland getting Larry Nance Jr., that's a nice little pickup for them. That is Portland got better in this trade. That's for sure.
I think
which
so.
Which is not good for the Grizzlies, but Portland got better in this trade.
Well, Portland got better as well when Damian Lillard said the other day, I'm back in Portland. I mean, he basically said, I'm committed. I'm here for at least the season. Who knows about the future? But he is committed to playing for the Portland Trailblazers this year, and you're absolutely right. The Larry Nance Jr. addition, I think, helps them out a lot. But Markkanen's a really, really good player.
Some news from college basketball. Louisville has suspended their head coach, Chris Mack, for 6 games for his failure to follow university guidelines and procedures in handling Dino Gaudio's extortion attempt, which Dino Gaudio, I believe, is being sentenced today for that extortion.
How weird is that story?
So they announced this right before he's being sentenced for it. But, so Chris Mack going to miss the first 6 games of the season for Louisville.
And that includes, I think, a couple of games in the Bahamas, if I'm not mistaken. So he misses out on a nice little...
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, nice little jaunt to the Bahamas.
That's unfortunate when you miss the Bahamas trip. But
one thing is playing like a home non-conference game against Samford, but now missing a trip to the Bahamas?
He's right. Can we just do? I'm fine doing 6 games, but can we just work them around the Bahamas trip if we can possibly do that? Let me just go to the Bahamas, and then you pick any other 6 games you want. But I just like to go down there. Although Chris Mack's pretty fair skinned, probably not. He'd probably get sunburnt down to the Bahamas.
A lot of lotion.
Carol in Tech says, if the Tigers make it to the NCAA tournament, how far will they go? Can they go all the way?
They could.
Short answer is yes. I mean, they are, on paper, without question, they are talented enough to be a Final Four national championship level team. There's no doubt on paper their talent compares to anybody in the country.
If you put a gun to my head today, please don't, and you told me how far would they go, I would have to say second weekend. Because I'm not going to sit here and go, they're going to the Final Four, and God forbid, not making the tournament. But I think not getting out of the first weekend with the talent that they have would be a disappointment. So I would say my prediction would be second weekend.
Yeah, I would say they should be a second weekend team. And I've always said once you reach the Sweet 16, I don't think anything can be expected past that. That is what happens. But they have every opportunity to earn a very good seed and put themselves in a great position to be there in the second weekend of the tournament.
Right.
And that there's no reason, barring a bunch of injuries or crazy stuff, if they have all their guys healthy, there's no reason they shouldn't be a top 4 seed. Let's just be that's being very generous, giving them that, but a top 4 seed in a region, and which gives them a great opportunity to be there for the second weekend.
Look, players have to play the game, but I think this is now going to be extremely important, and you have assembled a great coaching staff to make sure that you have everybody bought in, that everybody knows their role, that there's cohesiveness and chemistry, and that there's no players who are going to bring the ship down, if you will, because they're not getting the PT, they're not starting, whatever the case may be. Everybody has to be bought in. So now it's really on the coaches. And then once everybody's good, then it's up to the players to play and perform up to their level.
Bobby checks in. He says, do y'all think they'll put sanctions against us to prevent us from doing any postseason of basketball because of we played Wiseman when we did? I don't think that will happen, but I mean there is theoretically, I guess, a chance that could happen.
There could be a 1-year ban. There may not be a ban. There may not be an announcement from the IARP. If there's an announcement, I think it would happen before the season or after the season. I don't think it would happen during the season. But, yes, that's a possibility. I've said all along I don't believe they should get a 1-year ban. It's not going to be more than that if it is, but I don't believe they are deserving of the 1-year postseason ban. But there's going to be some penalties when it is eventually announced. Let's hope not that they play the season, everything's good, we don't hear about it until after. But, yeah, that would really bring down everybody's vibe right now if in the next month you heard from the IARP and a 1-year postseason ban. It would be awful.
Because isn't the thing with the IARP too, if I remember right, it feels like it's been 10 years ago that this all happened and they went to the IARP and that whole thing was announced. But isn't the deal with the IARP, whatever decision comes down, you are not allowed to appeal it, right?
That's correct.
So it's not like if it was a normal thing where they would hand down, you could appeal it, and it probably would get put off. You'd be able to play in the postseason before the new ruling got, the appeal was heard. But with this, the ruling, you don't have that opportunity to appeal. Again, I just don't think. I don't see them getting a postseason ban.
Yeah,
there's no doubt it would be that. You talk about the ultimate just gut punch of all gut punches.
Oh,
it's
gosh.
Like they're like undefeated, playing great, like number 1 in the country or number 3 in the country, and all of a sudden, by the way, you're not playing in the postseason this year.
By the way, the IARP was put in. It was instituted so you can have a school elect to go through the IARP and have different eyes look at what the NCAA has already looked at, but have a different, that could have a different outcome, could have a different opinion. They're going to see it possibly in a different way. You're hoping that they do. If there's all reasons why you would pick the IARP to look at your case. But again, as Eli said, that is the case. That if whatever conclusion they come down to, or whatever they or come up with rather, then you have to stick by it. You cannot appeal it. Real quick, from Memphis football, Kevin Johns, who was just meeting with the media via Zoom. He's the offensive coordinator. We had him on the show recently. He said that today he's comfortable with Grant Gunnell, Seth Hennigan, or Keelan Brown starting for the Tigers at quarterback against Nicholls State. It's now Ryan Silverfield's decision. Also noting that the first game starter might not be the starter of the entire season. So he did not name Peter Parrish, Gabe, which brings up Peter Parrish and his athleticism. Do you find another position if he's going to be the 4th string quarterback?
Yeah, that's the conversation that we've had on this show. I think Peter Parrish, with the athleticism he has, could be a guy that they use as a gadget guy. They could have moved him to wide receiver. Obviously, it's up to him how he wants to do it. If he wants to get in the transfer portal again, that may be another option. But the way we talked to Kevin Johns earlier this week on Sports Time, as I've been with Wolo all week, and it sounds like he, being the quarterback coach and the OC, has an idea who he wants to start, but it's up to Coach Silverfield to make that call. And from what we understood yesterday, we talked to Coach Silverfield. He says that the 2 deep will be out early next week.
But that is the first indication of one guy who has dropped from that group of 4, because he's actually pinpointed 3 guys who he's comfortable with and 1 guy who he didn't name. So obviously he's not comfortable with that player as being a starter. One of the things I love about betting on FanDuel Sportsbook is you get more than one shot to swing for the fences. And right now, new and existing users get up to $25 back in site credit each day. Just place a minimum 5-leg baseball parlay, and if it falls 1 leg short, you get up to $25 back with parlay insurance. By the way, sorry about last night. I was right about Scherzer pitching well, but he pitched extremely well, and he shut down and shut out the Padres. So the 5-leg parlay did not go the way I wanted it to go. There is a reason FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sportsbook. The app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and always on promotions to let you get more action out of every game day. And when you win, FanDuel will pay you your winnings in as little as 24 hours. In addition to the parlay insurance, if you haven't tried FanDuel Sportsbook yet, new users can place your first bet risk-free. That's right, new users get up to $1,000 back in site credit if your first bet doesn't win. And we got football coming up starting this weekend, at least on the college level. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up with promo code GASMAN to get in on the action. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code GASMAN. You must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only for the risk-free bet. Refund is issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund is $25 per game. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789. Stephen Johnson on the other side from the Daily Memphian. We'll talk Memphis Tiger hoops. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, it is so cool to see all these new All-Star Edition Silverado trucks at All-Star Chevrolet today. And they have so many certified pre-owned Chevys. If it's a Chevy you want this fall, Olive Branch is where you want to be. And if you have a car or truck to sell, All-Star will buy it even if you owe on it. So bring the title and get your check today. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Collierville, not Mount Moriah or the Pike. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
There's now a faster and easier way to pick up your Corky's Barbecue. Order and pay online, pull into the designated spot, text Corky's to 474747, and we'll bring your order right to your car. No waiting.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, I started the first micro distillery in the state of Texas with my dog, Dog Joe, at my side. We're still working with dogs out at the distillery after all these years. Learn more about how dogs are a part of life here at Tito's Handmade Vodka at vodkafordogpeople.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka is made from corn and naturally gluten-free. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Everyone's watching to see what you do. Everyone's looking at you.
Everybody's working for the weekend. That's what we're doing here. One more hour to the weekend for us, at least. It is time for our final hour of the week. It is Sports 56 Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. It is 12:04. Stephen Johnson's going to join us in just a moment. Then we got 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Stephen Johnson's the Memphis basketball beat writer from the Daily Memphian. He came here to Memphis and at first was the Daily Memphian Memphis football beat writer. Now he's moved over to basketball, and I'm going to ask Stephen if he has to actually sleep with his phone because there is never a dull moment. There is something happening every second, it seems. You can follow Stephen on Twitter at Stephen M. Johnson _. He joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. I'm sure you were busy, Stephen, when you covered football, but this is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, with football season, every now and again, I could maybe take a midday nap, but I don't even take a chance now with basketball. I do sleep with my phone. Subscribe to Memphis basketball page and a number of other pages. So it seems like every day I really can only count on one hand probably the amount of slow days I've had. It's not recruiting. It's coaching. If it's not coaching, it's transfers. If it's not transfers, it's something with the schedule. So it's been a great experience, but definitely been busy.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it sets up what on paper looks like it could be an extremely fun season ahead.
Absolutely. You know, if they perform to their talent level, you know, I think this team has everything you really want. Especially, you know, there's been a lot of talk about Imani Bates potentially playing point guard. So if that move really meshes out, and I think potentially it will, then the Tigers have everything they need to really go on the deepest run the basketball program has had since I was in middle school or a freshman in high school, honestly.
It is interesting with Penny because he wants all the smoke. I don't think he minds whatsoever to have a bullseye on his team's chest. Yet with this team underachieving basically through his first 3 years, not having made an NCAA tournament, although it was a strong finish last season, I think they're kind of a hybrid. I think they're both a hunter and a hunted because there are going to be teams that look at that roster and go, wow, they are really, really good. But Memphis has to first prove it. So I don't think he minds that they're going to be highly ranked going into this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, there is still a lot to prove. For Penny Hardaway, just the recruiting and getting the coaches, that was just the first part of it. He knows he has to make the tournament, and I'm sure you guys have kind of seen it. There have been, even from some national media guys, you know, a little skepticism, a couple NIT jokes, and of course that's going to come until you get that monkey off your back.
Right,
so,
right.
Yes, Memphis is going to be, they are going to be the hunted, and I think Penny enjoys having that target on their back because that means there's a spotlight on the program. You know what I mean? So that means that all the games that they're potentially going to play could be national televised games, and I'm not just talking about Alabama and Tennessee. You know, if they, with Imani Bates, Jalen, Earl Timberlake, those guys going to be must-watch TV. So even your games against, a Central Florida or a Tulane could be on national TV, like ESPN primetime.
You talked about Imani Bates, point guard position. When you look at it right now, and obviously a long time to go before the season, but what do you see the starting lineup being?
That is really, I think, the most intriguing question, because Penny's in a great position where there's almost no bad choice in a sense. But I think for me personally, if we're going to go with Imani at the one, I think Lester is in the lineup. I think Lester is the guy that's for sure, along with Imani and Jalen, that's for sure going to start. He just does so much for the team. He's one of the best shooters, best defender, was second on the team in rebounding as well, too. So you can't really afford to have that guy coming off the bench. I think, obviously, Jalen and DeAndre will be at the power forward and center spot. And honestly, it's that second wing spot between Earl Timberlake and Landers Nolley that I think will really be the question mark. As of now, I think I would lean Timberlake because, if you bring Landers off the bench, with Alo, Chandler Lawson, those guys, that's a really good second unit, and he can kind of be that gunner off the bench, kind of just coming in with just like the sole purpose of just getting buckets for that second unit. I think Landers can really thrive in that role. Somebody's going to have to buy in, but I think I would bring Landers off the bench and go kind of a super defensive lineup with Earl, Lester, Imani, DeAndre, and Jalen.
Well, you're absolutely right in that Landers has to buy into it, but I don't think there's any question, as long as he stays healthy, Earl Timberlake is starting. He's here to play. He's not here to come off the bench. And you make a great point about Quinones. I think it comes down to Quinones and Landers Nolley, and it probably will be Quinones. So I agree with you there, Stephen. The thing is, I don't think anybody should be saying the second unit, because I don't think we're going to see necessarily Penny Hardaway bringing five guys to replace the five that are on the court. I think this bench is going to be very, very limited. They are deep. There are a lot of guys that can play, but I don't think they're going to play a lot of guys. So with that said, we had this discussion yesterday. It got pretty heated about Alex Lomax. Alex Lomax is beloved, as you know, in this city. But I think they are going to try to develop Jonathan Lawson as quickly as they can. I think certainly Lomax will play some, but not always. I think Jonathan Lawson is the guy that they're hoping will develop quickly into a point guard.
I think you make a good point, and obviously John Martin with us has reported that he's really kind of looked really good. I think really him and Josh Minot, the potential those two have, like those are the type of players you really want to have kind of in your pipeline, maybe a year or 2 years down the line. They could be really special players.
Right.
I don't think Memphis will do the whole platoon thing that Kentucky did a couple years ago, 5 in, 5 out either. I think they do. I think they can go 10 deep, but I think by the end of the season, you'll see that rotation of maybe 8 really solid guys. So I think will be Chandler. I do think Josh Minot is going to play some, maybe not as much now since they have Imani. And it could be between Jonathan and Alo, who's going to be that kind of that reserve floor general. But as for Landers as well, too, I think one more thing on Landers, whoever the sixth man is, I think Penny just has to make sure that they understand that maybe just because you're not starting the game doesn't mean you're not going to finish it.
Exactly.
That's honestly more important. That closing five, which will kind of be matchup based, of course, depending on their plan. That's going to be the most intriguing lineup. Who's the lineup you can turn to? Those 5 guys, 5 minutes left in a 3-point game. Who's the best unit out there? And even if you're 6th man, 8th man, you could potentially be out there. So they have a lot of combinations. It's going to have to all sort itself out, but Penny has a great problem on his hands.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a good problem to have, and I do think, in managing egos and all of that stuff, I think it goes back to one. Obviously, Penny knows what it's like to be a star player and all that, but having a guy like Larry Brown, who's coached so many different great teams, I think can help kind of manage egos and get people to understand what it takes to be a part of a championship level team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also say Rasheed will help a lot, a lot in that area too. I think with any coaching staff, I know Gabe, you can probably relate to this a little bit more since you kind of played it at a high level. You kind of need a coach that can kind of be, in a sense, kind of like an ally to the players that can maybe be the buffer between the players and the head coach. So there's going to be a lot of buying in. There's going to have to be some sacrifices this year. And when you have a guy like Rasheed and you have a championship coach like Larry Brown, who's probably been in this position before, different players, different era, but he's had to get different personalities, get guys together to really sacrifice for the greater good of the team. So when you have those two experienced guys, I do think that Memphis will have. I don't anticipate seeing any ego problems, but you never know what goes on behind the scenes. But you would think that you have the right voices between Penny, Cody Topper, Larry, and Rasheed, that all those guys should really buy in and understand that if they do buy in, the sky's the limit for this team. I think in terms of, I think it might be the most talented roster in the country. If not, it's only behind maybe Gonzaga, UCLA, maybe a Michigan. So, this is a team that could go to the Final Four, but everybody will have to buy in and be on one page.
Yep, only a few that I would even consider being better roster-wise than Memphis. By the way, Gabe is shaking his head up and down. He's across the glass from me. He completely agrees with you. Stephen Johnson joining us from the Daily Memphian, the Memphis Tigers basketball beat writer for the Daily Memphian, who you can follow on Twitter at @StephenMJohnson_. Little bit interesting with Bates because, as everybody knows, he will not be eligible for the NBA draft next spring like Jalen Duren will be. Duren obviously is the one-and-done candidate, which I think will certainly come to fruition. But Bates will have that second year. What do you think the chances are, Stephen, that he stays at Memphis or goes somewhere else, even going professional, G League, while waiting to be drafted 2 years from now?
I can't really put a number on it, but I do think there's a chance just because, look, man, we know hoopers when they come to this city, professional or college. The city loves them, and they normally love the city. So realistically, Imani's going to be making he's going to be making some money here with NIL stuff. So realistically, he could decide, hey, we had a great season this first year. I can come back. We'll probably be just as good next year with some of the guys Penny is in on in 2022. So I think there's a chance. I think right now, if I had to predict, I could imagine him doing 1 year at Memphis, go to Elite Eight, deep run, and then go to the G League potentially next year. And for Imani personally, that would give him the best of both worlds because he would have that college experience. He would have that branding opportunity if they make that deep run in the tournament. And then you go to the G League where you can get that development and coaching from professionals. So he could be a guy that walks into the NBA a lot more polished and a lot more ready to go than we typically see from those rookies.
Yeah, it is interesting because, again, the NIL just kind of changes it so much because if he's making good money at the University of Memphis and they're really good and looks like they'll be really good the following year, there doesn't have to be the rush to get out. But, of course, if it wasn't for NIL, they probably would have never gotten him in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And trying to just go back through the archives, I don't recall Memphis being mentioned for either one of these guys right until the NIL stuff was about to pass or right until when it did pass. Because I know both those guys have more or less said that it changed the whole situation for them. Just because now, hey, I can still get to go to college, and I don't care what anybody says. Who doesn't want to be the big man on campus, especially at a place like Memphis or Kentucky, any place like that? So you can still do that. Still get a chance to maybe do something special in March Madness, which is still the best branding. I think the best branding tool for any college basketball player in America right now. So without it, I don't think either one of those guys would be in college. But the fact that they chose Memphis kind of shows you that with Penny Hardaway at the helm, that Memphis could go into another tier if they kind of just, if they perform on the court and they perform how they're supposed to. I think Memphis could be on the cusp of being kind of a recruiting juggernaut.
I completely agree with that. A lot of acronyms we could throw around, one being NIL. The other one is IARP. We were just discussing that, Stephen, about, you want to bring a halt to this joyous time for Memphis and rain on a parade. You come out with something right before the season that bans you for the entire season as far as postseason play is concerned. What are your feelings about this black cloud looming over the university?
Man, just for me personally, just as a native Memphis, you just really want to just get it out the way sooner or later. I was working in Rochester, New York when the case first happened. I moved to multiple houses, moved to different cities, and it's still not resolved. So kind of just dragging along. So, and like I said, it is a black cloud, and that would be probably the quickest way to kind of turn all this joy and hype, kind of turn this on its head. But it'll be interesting for the NCAA. What exactly they'll do, or I think they might be this commission. They move so slow, and I never really understand why it takes so long. So I mean, I would be curious to see how that goes out, but I'm still curious to see how I think the penalties will be stiff. I don't know. Will it be a postseason ban, scholarship reduction? What exactly are they going to do? Because Memphis did, in typical Memphis fashion, they did their own thing. And at the time when I was a fan, I loved it. But now, as a media person, maybe we should have, maybe the program with a little more light, man.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, that's oh man, I mean, like I said, you talk about turning joy into sadness in a hurry. Man, that would be the ultimate gut punch if something like that happened during this season. Especially if they get off to like a great start, and they're just rolling along, and then it happens. Oh my goodness.
And that would kind of feel like kind of the typical fashion. Like I said, I've been growing up. I remember when they took the banner down and some of the other stuff. It always kind of seems like in the past, anyway, when Memphis was kind of on the rise, that something would happen, something controversial would happen. So, hopefully it's resolved. We'll see how stiff the penalties are. I don't think the program will necessarily get killed, but it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully you get that resolved. If it doesn't happen before the season, hopefully it comes after the season, maybe after you have that big run in the tournament. And, it'll be just like that Final Four year. So they can take the banner, but can't take the memories.
Can't take the memories. Where do you expect the Tigers to be in the AP preseason poll? And would you assume, like we probably all are assuming, that they will be the pick to win the American?
I think they will be the pick to win the conference. I still think Houston will get a couple first-place votes in the media polls and whatnot. But if I had to pick an exact number, I think Memphis will hover around the 7 range. Like I said, Gonzaga and UCLA, they bring a lot of UCLA brings back its whole team, including Johnny. So I think those will be your number 1 and number 2 teams. Michigan brings back some experience. I think Memphis will be kind of in that 7 to 10 range, behind some teams that have kind of already done it. The experts have kind of seen perform already, but I do think they'll be top 10. There'll be a couple rankings, trying to be different that will keep Memphis maybe out of the top 20 or top 15 or so. But I think Memphis will probably be about 7 or 8 if I had to pick a number.
Could you imagine a little basketball clinic or conversation where we could sit in and listen to basketball minds just of the people that are here in Memphis? When you think about Penny Hardaway and Larry Brown and Rasheed Wallace and Cody Toppert and Bonzi Wells, and then all the Grizzlies and the players that could just talk about the game of basketball. I mean, isn't it incredible right now what's going on in this city? And we've had incredible years and decades, eras before. But right now, this is just incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Rasheed and Bonzi are going to be doing their podcast. I have no doubt that they'll probably try to do something like that. I wouldn't be surprised we get an episode with Penny and John on the set. But for me personally, being about a few years away from 30, I can't remember a time in the city where the basketball scene was just so vibrant, so many big names, even all the way down to Lamont, who's a HBCU. I bet their games are going to be pretty now. Like that exhibition game. When it first came out, you probably skimmed right past it, but now Bonzi's there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a packed house at the Forum, man. So there's so much good energy. There's so much good vibes. I still think the Grizzlies will be a potential playoff team. We all kind of expect the Tigers will be a team that can at least make it to the second weekend. I think that's the threshold for a successful season. And then, of course, if Bonzi's able to turn around Lamont, I think that's all great for the city as well, too. So it's a special time. If they can perform on the court, it'll be a party for the city, and I'm glad I'm here to cover it and write about it.
Well said. I think we're in agreement on most things. Stephen Johnson does a great job covering Tigers basketball for the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at @StephenMJohnson_. Stephen, always a pleasure. We'll be in touch. Thanks so much for your time.
I appreciate y'all.
Take care.
Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah, I think, look, we often talk about coaches. Well, people aren't going to buy tickets to see a particular coach. No, they're going to have a good team or a promising team. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's people that buy a ticket once in a while because they want to see that person. They want to see a legend. They want to see a guy like Penny Hardaway coach. Or they want to come to the Southern Heritage Classic. Most already do because of the fun times that they have, the camaraderie, seeing old friends, and watching a classic game between a couple of Tigers teams in Jackson State and in Tennessee State. But tell me differently that you don't think people, like, there'd be some extra tickets sold because Primetime and Eddie George are coaching their respective teams. So, again, Bonzi Wells may not have that cachet of an Eddie George, a Deion Sanders, a Penny Hardaway. But Lemoyne Owen will be – we'll keep an eye on Lemoyne Owen a lot more because Bonzi Wells is the coach. And that seems to be the trend, to go out at the collegiate level, whatever the level may be, 1AA, Division II, Division III, and get a name. Because people can recognize right away that name, and that gives it some kind of pop behind it. You have to still come with the goods, but at least it brings interest right away. That's why I think it's extremely important to hire a named coach.
New Life Medical Center is at 9160 Highway 64. It's a little shopping center there called the Shops at Stonebridge. You can go on by there if you're feeling ill, injuries. They do primary and urgent care, keeping folks healthy. And they do a lot of things, but also just in addition to just the regular primary and urgent care, they do testosterone replacement therapy for guys. They do weight loss programs as well. They treat erectile dysfunction, low sex drive for women. They do have sports medicine programs with their stem cell treatments and their platelet-rich plasma treatments for joint injuries. They do COVID testing as well. If you need to get a COVID test, they do that for you. They got the rapid test. You'll get your results in as little as 15 minutes. It's all at New Life Medical Center. Again, 9160 Highway 64. The phone number, 213-0100. That's 213-0100. You can find them online at newlifemedcenters.com. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday and 9 to 1 on Saturday. New Life Medical Center.
When we return, it's 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. We're talking NFL. The question will deal with the National Football League. You can jump on the phone lines right now. That's the AutoZone phone lines at 360-8255. 360-8255. 10 in a row is next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
I'm Dr. George Flynn, Chairman of the Board of Flynn Broadcasting. Other stations might consider you to be a listener. I don't, and we don't. You are a family member, and I want the best for you and your family. So please get vaccinated against COVID. It saves hospitalizations and can save your life. I've had 3 rounds of vaccines on clinical trials with no side effects other than maybe a sore arm for 24 hours. I want to protect you, my family, and would never suggest something that might harm you. Please get vaccinated and feel safe in knowing you've done your part to beat COVID-19. I care about you, so please get vaccinated. All of us at Flynn Broadcasting want to keep you healthy, so please get vaccinated.
Former MMA champion Tyron Woodley enters the boxing ring this Sunday to take on YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul. Go with the YouTuber. Love Jake Paul in this. And FanDuel Sportsbook, they're giving new customers exclusive 30-1 odds on either fighter to win. Now's the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot because you can win $150 on a $5 bet. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code CASH. To get in on the action, that's promo code CASH. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Odds boost available for new users only. Must wager on designated boost market. $10 first deposit required. Max bonus $150. Risk-free bet. Refund issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See full terms for both offers at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Mid-South, get ready to enjoy your Summer in Style sales event at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Get all-wheel control system, pedestrian detection, lane departure warning, and 5-star safety rating with your 2022 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross SE. We Gossett $209 a month. Get advanced technology with My Pilot Assist, 7-passenger and fun to drive 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. We Gossett $229 a month. And they're all powered by our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. It's time to get your groove on at Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
Both 48-month leases, $10,000 per year, $750 loyalty rebate, $500 military rebate, $250 Ally Military CCRA Cross, NZ 003186, MSRP 27725, Outlander NZO 19057, MSRP 20080, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/31/2021, dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It's a cold wet December day, and we touch the ground in JFK. Snow is melting on the ground. Yes, I heard the sound of an angel.
We've got 10 in a row. The game show that has swept the nation coming up in just a few moments. By the way, if you missed any of our interviews, this is each and every day for every single show. It's pretty easy. Just go to the website, sports56whbq.com. We have some of our interviews that are posted under featured audio. And then the other ones, you could just hit up the podcasts of each show. We break it down hourly. It's very simple to listen to whatever you missed right here on Sports 56. Did you see the video of the Walrus, Craig Stadler? 169 yards, hole in one, using a driver.
I did not see that.
It is. It's on ESPN.com. I don't know if he was just showing how he can control a driver that well, or because there's no. I know Statler's old now, but he's Craig Stadler. I think he can hit a driver past 169 yards. So he used the driver on this downhill par 3, put it right behind right on the back of the green. Had a little bit of a roll back down to the hole, drilled it for a hole in one. It's good video, so check that out. Right now, check out 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's the game show that has swept the nation. It's 10 in a row. We need you to jump on the phone lines right now, 360-8255. I'll give you the question momentarily, but first, here's what you're playing for.
The winner of 10 in a row today will get $25 gift certificate to Sweetgrass at Cooper Young. Also $25 gift certificate to Sunrise over on Jefferson. We'll throw in a couple of Malco movie passes as well. And if you would like, and you can get here to pick them up today and want to go tomorrow, if you would like, I'll give you the option. You're going to get all that regardless. But I'll also give you the option of a 4-pack of tickets for the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival tomorrow out at Tiger Lane.
Quite the prize package right there. That is very good. So let's go. We got open phone lines. The AutoZone phone lines are ready for you to call in. And this is a question that deals with last season in the NFL. NFL players who rushed for 1,000 or more yards last season. And notice I said NFL players as opposed to just NFL running backs. Hint, hint. NFL players who rushed for 1,000 or more yards last season. Do you remember last season's NFL campaign? If they went for 1,000, it's yes. If not, it's no. 360-8255. The AutoZone phone lines are open. I'm not going to spend too much time waiting around for you guys. If you want to play, that is a hell of a prize package. That's the way you get your weekend kick-started. One more time, Eli, roll over those prizes.
$25 to Sweetgrass, $25 to Sunrise, and a couple of Malco movie passes. And if you would like, and you have to be able to get here today to pick them up before 5 o'clock, I'll give you 4 tickets for the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival. That's tomorrow from 1 to 8 out at Tiger Lane with live music, hot wing eating contest, cornhole tournament, all kinds of stuff going on at the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival. You can get more information at worldwingfest.com. The tickets are compliments of Gateway Tire. We certainly appreciate them, but yeah, we've got a 4-pack of tickets for that I will throw in if you would like.
All right, 360-8255, AutoZone phone lines. Last warning, AutoZone phone lines are available right now, 360-8255. Don't wait around. NFL players who rushed for 1,000 or more yards last season, I'll give you the name of a player. Maybe a running back, maybe a quarterback. They rushed for over 1,000, it's yes. If not, it's no.
We do have some open lines right now if you want to get in to try and win that massive prize package. 901-360-8255. 360-8255. It is the AutoZone phone lines. And first up is Andre. Hello, Andre.
Dre, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Not a whole lot. Here we go. NFL players who rushed for 1,000 or more yards last season. Ezekiel Elliott.
No.
Alvin Kamara.
No.
Nick Chubb.
Yes.
Miles Sanders.
No.
James Conner.
No.
Dalvin Cook.
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
James Robinson.
Yes.
Kareem Hunt.
No.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, yes.
There you go.
Andre.
Nice job,
Coming
Andre.
in, taking care of business right off the bat. Congratulations, Andre.
Yes.
You've got the Sweetgrass, you've got the Sunrise, you got the Malco movie passes. Do you want the tickets to the Wing Fest as well?
Yes, I do.
All right, I'll throw those in. You gotta get here to pick those up today. But congratulations, sir. Hold on, Gabe
All right,
will take care of you.
See, that's why you don't delay. I know the strategy. They want to wait around. They want to get down to about 6 or 7. You don't wait. You jump on the phone lines right now. Are we going to do – we haven't even got to the second list yet.
Well, Jim was on hold, so I'll give Jim a shot.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's give Jim. Jim, what's up?
Hi, Jim.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Doing
Good.
well. All right, let's see if you can match Andre with a second chance opportunity. NFL players who rushed for 1,000 or more yards last season. Damian Harris.
No.
Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, yes.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Kyler Murray did not rush for 1,000 yards. Eli, did J.K. Dobbins rush for 1,000 yards?
No.
Did Aaron Jones?
No.
He did.
Ooh.
Lamar Jackson?
Yes.
He did. There's the quarterback that did. Kyler Murray came up short. Melvin Gordon?
No.
David Montgomery?
Yes.
He did. That kind of surprised me a bit. Latavius Murray?
No.
Kenyon Drake?
No.
Ronald Jones?
No.
There you go. So congratulations, Andre. Again, we do this every Friday. We've been doing it for years and years and years. Get on the phones right away. I know it's hard right off the bat, but you saw what Andre did. So if you wait around, you may be too late. That's 10 in a row. We'll do it again next Friday. We normally do it at about this time in the show. So I just saw this story, and I'm embarrassed because this is a former Maryland quarterback, Scott Zolak, who played in the NFL for a while, played with the Patriots, and he's been a part of the broadcast team. I think he does radio in Boston as well. He comes out and he says that his former team, the Patriots, should turn off the rap music at practice, explaining he believes the tunes are hurting Cam Newton's game. Seriously, this is what he said. He played, by the way, from 92 through 98, so he's a bit old school, but he's not ancient. He was reporting from Pat's practice on Thursday when he made the claim, saying Cam is straight up distracted by rap songs that blare over the team's speakers during workouts. Quote, I turn off the rap music first of all because I think it's distracting for Cam here because in between every throw he's dancing. He can't help himself. The 53-year-old former signal caller then said it's a stark difference when compared to Patriots backup quarterback Mac Jones, who he said looks like he came to work again, like he's here to work, and everything is attention to detail. But again, Zolak added, that's Cam's style. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, does Cam Newton put 100% into every single practice after all these years? I don't know. Mac Jones is a rookie who's trying to win a starting job, and maybe he works a little bit harder because he hasn't been there before, hasn't done it at this level. I mean, that's a possibility. But if you think that the music that's played at a practice, whatever the sport may be, is keeping that player from performing or is distracting that performer, or that player, rather, that is ridiculous. I guarantee you Cam Newton, from the start of his career, at practice, there was similar music, and he was probably dancing and having a good time because that's his nature, and still went out there and had great games and great seasons. I am embarrassed for Scott Zolak to say something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the newsflash, like, all teams are playing that, and there's guys dancing at probably every practice.
All sports,
and they're really good. They're really good. It's Cam Newton's not as good anymore because he's just not as good anymore. He can't throw the ball like he used to be able to throw the ball.
Right. Has nothing to do with music.
It isn't because of rap music. His arm didn't get weaker because of rap music. It's a lot of injuries and wear and tear on a body. It is not rap music.
And to say rap music, yeah, that's the music they play, but even if he just said the music, it sounds so much worse saying the rap music. It's just that is a bad look for Zolak. I'm sure he's going to catch a lot of flack, and he should catch a lot of flack for that. Like I said, Cam Newton, and you just mentioned that the goods have worn a little bit. He's not as good a quarterback. Everybody knows that. And maybe he goes into practice and just maybe not 100% all the time because he's been there, done that. He knows what to do. He knows the drills, but he has a good time in practice. And Mac Jones may be a little bit more concentrating on everything he has to do because it's all new to him. But that is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. One of the things I love about betting on FanDuel Sportsbook is you get more than one shot to swing for the fences. And right now, new and existing users get up to $25 back in site credit each day by placing a 5-leg baseball parlay, and if one leg falls short, you get that $25 back with parlay insurance. You don't pay for the parlay insurance. It comes with it. It comes with FanDuel. That's another reason why FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sportsbook. The app is simple to use, and they've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and always on promotions to let you get more action out of every game day. And when you win, FanDuel will pay you your winnings in as little as 24 hours. We have football right around the corner. In fact, tomorrow, the college football season kicks off. It's always fun to bet on football. In addition to the parlay insurance, if you haven't tried FanDuel Sportsbook yet, new users can place your first bet risk-free. New users get up to $1,000 back in site credit if your first bet doesn't win. It's a pretty good deal. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code GASMAN to get in on the action. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code GASMAN. You must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only for risk-free bet. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund is $25 per game. Restrictions do apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. One more segment to go here on Middays, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
Like a splinter in your mind.
driving you mad? We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Mid-South, the time is now to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. You want to ride with 41 MPG Highway? We Gossett 2021 Kia Rio $249 a month. You want 0% at $282 a month? We Gossett with 2021 Kia Forte. And all-weather rugged 2022 Kia Seltos $332 a month. Plus peace of mind with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Trade up and get top dollar at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All $29.99 due at signing. Rio ME 418 570 60 at 0.9% APR. MSRP 17.2. Forte ME 393 458 60 at 0%. MSRP 19,940. Celtos N 724 9948 66 at 1.9%. MSRP 23,910. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Valid through 8/31/2021. Dealer stock only. Must finance through Kia on APR offer.
Greenbox Capital, an alternative lender, is here to help small to medium-sized businesses with the funding needed to build back during these challenging times. And for a limited time, is offering 10% off the cost of working capital. Visit greenboxcapital.com/radio to fill out a short form and connect with a real advisor who will work with you to create the best funding solution. Mention the code RADIO to redeem your special offer. With funding as low as $3,000 up to $500,000 in all industries across the U.S., Puerto Rico, and Canada, Greenbox Capital can help with your financial needs today. Visit greenboxcapital.com/radio. Again, that's greenboxcapital.com/radio. Get the business funding you need while saving 10% off the cost of working capital. Visit greenboxcapital.com/radio. Greenbox Capital, fast funding for small businesses.
Visit Frontier Western Store this summer to check out tons of new products. Frontier added so many new items in their women's boutique. There are daily arrivals with thousands of on-trend tops, jeans, and pants in stock at amazing prices. And guys, Frontier's your #1 Carhartt store. There's no one around with a larger selection of everyday fits and workwear. Wrangler and Ariat clothing also available. Frontier recently remodeled their entire store and expanded the world-famous boot showroom. Now there are even more dress and work boots in stock. After Ariat boots, then you've got to check out Frontier. There are over 1,000 pair of Ariat boots alone, and thousands more in other brands such as Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, and Twisted X. As if the selection isn't reason enough, there's Frontier's low prices. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so when you're ready for your next pair, you know right where to come. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
The Original Hot Dog Factory and Spice Wing, located at 4265 Hex Cross Road near 385. The menu offers a variety of all-beef hot dogs with over 20 choices. Try some of the best-selling favorites like the Bacon Wrap Memphis Dog and even sausages like Street Polish, Italian, or Jamaican Jerk Chicken. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 till 10, and Sunday, 11 to 8. Catering and event hosting is available. Have your next meeting or family gathering at the Original Hot Dog Factory. Now hiring team members. Apply in person. The Original Hot Dog Factory and Spice Wing.
Tiger football opens at home against Nichols Saturday, September 4th at 6, and the rest of the schedule features SEC opponent Mississippi State, Navy, SMU, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now for all games, including Mississippi State, which starts at $60. Season tickets are also on sale, and you can get all 7 games for just $99. To lock in your seats for all the action, call 901-678-2331 or visit GoTigersGoTix.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Check it and see. I got a fever of 103. Come on, baby, do you do more than that?
So they have Ida out there has been upgraded to a hurricane now. And Tulane and Louisiana Lafayette have both canceled classes for Monday. LSU has not apparently made a decision yet if they will do anything, but not looking good. Not looking good for the folks down there in New Orleans. Hopefully, maybe this thing will die down a little bit or whatever. But
I think it's going to strengthen, though, is what they say.
It has been upgraded to a hurricane now, as it is be making landfall here in Cuba very shortly. So that is not a good thing. That is for sure.
So Cuba, then zip around into the Gulf, right into New Orleans, and we're going to get the remnants here if the trajectory stays the way they predict. Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if they're closing classes on Monday, I assume that must be they believe it's going to be coming in there on Monday, and then I guess so that would be. The remnants would get up here probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, nothing's good with a hurricane. I understand that, but if you want to put it in a sports perspective, I guess that's probably the best time because LSU, I'm not sure when their game is. Wait, don't they have doesn't LSU play a neutral site game their first weekend? I'm just trying to think who would be affected. If it was a weekend that storm was rolling in, you'd be affected by it, but if it's early in the week, you probably would have it out of the area. You'll definitely have it out of the area, and it wouldn't affect you. So I think that's probably a good timing from a sports standpoint as far as getting all the games in.
Yeah, LSU, who is it that they're playing?
LSU plays. Yeah, I just thought of that. Here you go. LSU plays at UCLA.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
UCLA. Yeah, so they'll be far away from that hurricane.
Speaking of UCLA and the Pac-12, there were some folks who were tweeting about this, and I did not realize this because I didn't know where all these guys were from. But they're talking. You talk about the Pac-12 and the issues they have had. They were pointing out if you look at the top teams in the country and the top Heisman Trophy hopeful guy, the top favorites for the Heisman Trophy,
right?
But you look at the quarterbacks of 4 teams. You got Bryce Young at Alabama, C.J. Stroud at Ohio State, J.T. Daniels at Georgia, and DJ Uiagalelei at Clemson, which is 4 of the top 5 teams in the country.
Right.
If you go to the Heisman voting, you could throw in Spencer Rattler as those are the top 5 guys as far as Heisman odds are concerned.
Okay.
Every one of those quarterbacks, the first 4, all grew up within 26 miles of each other in L.A.
Really?
And not one of them, now J.T. Daniels was at USC, but left. Not one of the others. And Spencer Rattler's from Phoenix. So those 5 quarterbacks are all from the Pac-12's area, and the Pac-12 did not get a single one of them except for J.T. Daniels, who then left.
Interesting.
So if you want to know what the problem is, and that does not look good for Clay Helton.
You can't keep your recruits.
That doesn't look great for Clay Helton when all of those quarterbacks were right there in the L.A. area. And again, he got one, but he couldn't keep him, and he didn't get any of the others.
But Keaton Slovis could be as good as all of them in the end. He'll have to prove it out on the field because, again, Clay Helton will be under fire. But that's a really interesting tidbit there about that.
Those 4 guys,
26
four of the
miles.
top teams in the 4 of the quarterbacks, 4 top teams in the country. You could theoretically see those 4 quarterbacks be the playoff quarterbacks this year. All grew up within 26 miles of each other in L.A.
That is crazy. I got a text from somebody who said, here's a question to ponder. Would you rather win a national championship this season and lose penny to the NBA next year, or be guaranteed you have Penny as your coach until he retires? Could possibly have multiple championships if he stays. What would you do?
You'd take the championship. I mean, for sure. There's not even a question.
You'd take the championship, lose him, and not take the shot on having this guy bringing in these great recruits for years and years to come and possibly winning multiple championships. I think it's. I mean, I would lean toward what you said, but I don't know if it's an absolute slam dunk right off the bat.
The school has never won a championship. The chances of doing multiple championships over the next whatever is very, very slim. If you're going to get a championship, you take the championship.
Yeah, but how much of a drop-off will it be if you don't have Penny Hardaway as your coach? As far as the excitement, the ticket sales, all that stuff, the national notoriety, the chance to get national recruits, something to think about. I don't believe it's a slam dunk, but again, I would lean toward give me the championship and let's see what happens. But if Penny Hardaway is going to recruit the way he recruited this year, we already know what he's done in the past 3 years because a lot of the guys were guys he was connected with James Wiseman. But he went out and got Precious. Precious wasn't a top 5 player. Now he goes out and gets the 4 and 5 players from this class. You know that he can recruit and not only recruit but sign these players. You'd have that for the rest of his coaching career. Interesting to think about.
Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Congratulations to Coach Phillip Rivers. He's 8th all-time with 134 regular season NFL wins, but he's now 1-0 as a head high school football coach. The 8-time Pro Bowler led the St. Michael Catholic Cardinals to a 49-0 victory on Friday night, a night he described as being special. It's the process that makes it awesome, Rivers said after the win. Tonight was special. Shoot, I'm looking over and Dad's standing on the track, Mom's in the stands, my boys are spotting the ball. My brother is here coaching. It was that kind of night. Congratulations to Coach Rivers, who still could end up being back in the NFL at the end of the season if a team needs a quarterback, if he stays in playing condition. But right now, he's having a good time as a head coach.
Quite the barn burner there in that first game.
Yeah. Old 49-0 down the wire game.
His late game strategy was really tested in that 49-0 win. I'm glad they were able to pull that one out for him. Well, unfortunately, the folks at Grizz Gaming, they were not able to pull out their first round playoff victory. They lost in the first round of the playoffs, their first ever playoff appearance. They lost to Knicks Gaming last night in the first round of the NBA 2K League playoffs. So congratulations to Lang Whitaker and the folks on a great season. First playoff appearance, but they go down to the Knicks, losing their little series 2-1 last night. I kind of feel bad for them. It's bad enough. I mean, it's always going to be a little difficult for the Grizz Gaming to get a whole bunch of attention. But when you're playing your first playoff game on the day after Imani Bates commits to the University of Memphis, it becomes really, really hard for anybody to give you any attention.
Look, we've had Lang on a number of times, and he's a great guy, and I'm very happy for them. Look, I'm not into the gaming. I'll be honest with you, I'm not into it, but I certainly don't mind having Lang on here talking about it. It's fascinating to me, and they were great. They really had a great year. So, yeah, I echo your sentiments. Congratulations to Lang. By the way, Gabe Kuhn, a plug for the G Lead with your brother. I see that your brother's taken Illinois +7 over
sure
Nebraska.
Has. Yes. So we just started our new digital platform. Thanks for letting me put it out there on Twitter at the_G_lead on Instagram at the_G_lead.
Do you agree with Alex?
We'll see. Scott Frost is coaching for his life.
Make a prediction.
Scott Frost is coaching for his life, so I could see Nebraska running away with it just as well as Brett Bielema and Illinois sticking it in. I really don't know when it comes to Big Ten how many points they're going to score. I cannot lean either way on that
Way
one.
to take a stand. Eli, who's going to win that game? And what do you think?
I would think Nebraska wins, but I would take Illinois in the points. I will not bet it, but if I had to bet it, I would take Illinois in the points.
That's the first of, there's 5 games, I think, overall over the weekend. Week 0 of the college football season, and then things get crazy starting next week. There'll be games actually during the week, a number of games during the week leading up to a big Saturday. Our thanks to Laird Veach, John Varlas, and Stephen Johnson for joining us on the show today. And, of course, thanks to you, our loyal listeners. We can't thank you enough for all your calls and your texts and just your loyalty listening to the program. Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio is coming up next, so stay tuned for that. For Eli Savoy and Gabe Kuhn, I'm Greg Gaston. We'll talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
We're sure gonna miss it a lot. All of the whiskey in Lynchburg, Tennessee.